has been on fire all season.
Champagne rugby? Look no further.
To score one of the most memorable tries.
Durham University are BUCS Super Rugby League champions.
The truth is, in this league, it's anyone's on the day.
And it's full time. It is 6 wins from 6 for Swansea.
Entertainment guaranteed.
BUCS Super Rugby.
Women's National League.
BUCS Rugby is back.
Good evening and a very warm welcome along to Kingsholm for your second instalment of this evening's BUCS Rugby. We've just had a tremendous Women's National League fixture. Now it's over to the best league in the land. It's BUCS Super Rugby time, and two heavyweights will be going toe to toe in the worst possible weather. It is wet, it is windy, but that has not dimmed the enthusiasm of the thousands gathered in the stands here behind the camera. It really is turning into a party atmosphere. They've got a drum, they're wrapped up warm, very jealous of you on your sofas, mind. We'll be bringing you all the action from this huge clash in just a moment. But first, let's take a listen to Mitch Walsh, captain of Hartpury this season, who sat down at the media day in warmer times earlier on this year to tell us all about just how the three-time BUCS Super Rugby champions will be going for a fourth.
Big Mitch, wearing the red in the acorn of Hartpury, but not just that, you're wearing the captain's armband this season. Must be incredibly proud to be leading this historic university in BUCS Super Rugby.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great moment for me in my career and what I've achieved so far. So to be put up with some names like Harry Wilson, Will Crane, the mates of mine as well, but big names in terms of Hartpury, and it's a very prestigious place, and it's a big honour for me and my family to sort of lead them out on the pitch as well.
There are some matches which are bigger than others. These big occasions, Bath have them at the Rec, Exeter have them at Sandy Park. You are going to have Kingsholm, a rocking Kingsholm, to welcome what I imagine is a rowdy Cardiff Met. How exciting is that for you? How exciting is that for the squad? And how is that going to elevate your performance, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting for both clubs, I think, and especially with the women doing the double header as well. That's going to be amazing. We're all going to be, as a club, Hartpury is, often uni rugby split into 1, 2, 3s and 4s, and that's all the way down to 6s, and with the women's as well. But it's going to be a real club feel. And as I said, we didn't perform quite as well as we wanted to as a club, apart from the women, who sort of, really showed how we should be performing. So we're going to chase that real hard, and everybody's going to be coming for that game. And especially, I know Cardiff Met will be bringing a good side and looking to turn us over as well. So I'm just excited. The challenge for it is going to be amazing. The culture of both teams is really going to look to press hard on the field, and maybe press hard off the field with some of the chants and all the fans. But yeah, it'll be amazing either way.
For a marquee match, as oppositions go, Cardiff Met are pretty up there as one of the most consistently high-performing sides. How do you beat the Archers? What is it that they bring, and what is it that you have to be better than them at to get that victory at Kingsholm? Yeah,
they're a quality outfit. They've got some good coaching staff, and they've got some good players down there as well. And as I said, they bring that crowd, and they look to push you on and off the field. And I think we've just got to match that physically and match their standards they set. There's no messing about in them games, whereas last year we probably let them get out ahead of us a couple of times. I think it was a windy, rainy, horrible day down there, and some boys sort of went into our shells. So I think we've got to go out and chase them hard and really put pressure on them, and then we can just see who's going to crack first then.
Can't wait to see you and that hard work for Puri out there this season.
Either.
Cheers, mate.
Sounds good.
Anyone in this league can beat anyone, it seems, this year. So how do you make sure that you come out on top tonight?
Well, someone invited the weather with us, so it's going to be a lot of what we do without the ball tonight, as well as what we do with the ball. Both teams play a very pragmatic game. It's going to be a lot of kicking, I'm sure, tonight, and a lot of back three catching, so it'll be exciting for those guys.
It definitely will. Now tell me, what wobbled in rounds 2 and 3 for your squad, and what is it that you fixed in the interim to get those last 2 wins?
So we had a hell of a start down in Exeter, and we said that right from the beginning. We've got the top 2 teams, first two rounds, and you could call it a hangover from that first game, from that Exeter, and we took a lot of dents in that game. That was a great game, but it was tough on the bodies. And the key messages from the last couple of weeks we've learned from those is back things up, not just be a one team go up, down, and that's the message. That's what the message has been the last couple of weeks against Swansea, against Cardiff, is backing it up, and the same message is the same tonight.
You definitely back things up with your selection today, just the one change since last week. Is that a sign that you're finding really good combinations now? And if so, just how good could this year's side be?
Yeah, it's all about momentum, and like I said, after the X game we took a lot of dents, and the last 3 weeks we've been able to name an unchanged side. We've swapped some players around, but we've managed to do that, and that gives us that back it up mentality. And now we've got some confidence playing with each other. It should really show this evening, especially 3 weeks in with the same team.
And just finally, what an occasion tonight in one of the biggest rugby heartlands of them all. How do you manage that holy balance of heads on ice and hearts on fire?
Well, my predecessor, Sean Lynn, used to say this: it's 4 white lines, 2 sets of posts and 30 blokes going at it, and it's exactly the same here. We've moved the game 3 miles down the road to Kingsholm, an amazing stadium. It's going to be a great occasion, but it's still a game of rugby at the end of the day, and there's league points on offer, and we're after them.
Run forwards, throw backwards, right?
Exactly, that's the one.
Have a good evening. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Well, absolutely unbelievably, I'm alongside the only person at Kingsholm wearing shorts. It is, of course, Sean Lynn, who in all weathers, in all climes, will definitely always have his calves out. Sean, how are you doing? It's great to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I'm going very well, so thank you.
Fantastic. We've just been talking about what an occasion this is, and it is getting loud in here. It is raucous at Kingsholm. How do you prepare a side, whether they're the home or the away team, to cope in this cacophonous environment?
Yeah, you look at the environment, but also the conditions as well. And probably the coaching staff is talking about it's all about the territory that you want to play in the right areas. But sometimes it's easier to play without the ball, because the ball's going to be so greasy, so that everybody's going to be talking about get real good line speed, make good collisions, and Cardiff Met are very good in that red zone attack. So that's something which Dan Murphy will be talking about, is play in the right areas, don't let Cardiff Met come into our zone.
Cardiff Met's game has been built on an incredibly robust forward platform so far this season. It feels like they'll punch their way up the pitch and then they'll pounce. Is that a style of play that lends itself perhaps better to this weather than that of Hartpury?
Yeah, definitely, you know, and the big message will be is let them punch, let's get good line speed in these conditions, and let's make them make an error. And then I think it all comes down to the scrum, because then you'll have scrum penalties. Who's got a better scrum? And that's the key factor for me then, because you're playing in the right areas with that set piece.
Which way do you think that battle will go tonight?
It'll be an interesting one. You know, I know Dan Murphy has been working hard on the scrum with the guys, and also Cardiff Met has been very dominant. So sometimes it's how the referee judges it.
You've got Hartpury Sport on your chest, you've got Gloucester Rugby on your head. Just tell me what it's like to be in the West Country right now and involved in rugby, because the men's team are flying in the Premiership. Gloucester Hartpury are going to be such contenders in the Premier 15s, and both university sides are flying.
Yeah, I just think it's making sure that we run the pathway. The link with Gloucester Rugby has been amazing, and then also it's just making sure that men and women get the right pathway. Dual career is massive in this sport now, and I think whoever's watching this game today will clearly see that it's a student athlete.
Well, that's the insight of Sean Lynn, who's heavily involved with all things here at Hartpury. But let's hear from the Cardiff Met camp, because earlier on in the year I caught up with Danny Milton from the Archers, and here's what he had to say. Danny, 2 wins on the spin, including one over an inspired Bath side. How are the confidence levels right now?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting start to the year for all the teams, and certainly what it looks like this year is you've got a lot of teams who can beat each other. No one unbeaten, and it proves to be an exciting league.
Is there the sense, though, that it would be really nice to, for those confidence levels, take a big scalp? Because Cardiff next to both edged you, but you've got the chance today to take the Titans Hartpury. What would that mean to your side?
Yeah, I think it's a long season, 18 games in the league, and what we've got to do is keep getting our sort of processes and our performances on point, and the results will take care of themselves. And it's more about bringing that performance. And if that means a win against Hartpury today, we'll take it. But we got to bring that performance.
Your forwards have been pulling up trees so far this season. So how key is territory today, so that they're unleashed in all the right parts of the field? Yeah,
I think you make a really good point, and I think conditions today are obviously going to have a big impact on the game, the wind, the rain. So a strong forward pack is something that we're obviously going to want to use, and like you say, hopefully in the right areas.
Everywhere the Archers go, there seems to be a crowd. You just draw rugby fans left, right and centre. So you're in a bit of an amphitheatre tonight, but I imagine that won't fluster your squad.
No, it's really interesting. You know, we've talked about this in the build-up to the game. We got the Cardiff clash at the Arms Park, and we're certainly used to playing in those occasions, which tend to be tight affairs at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see. Hartpury's probably, I think, it's first time at Kingsholm. So for us in BUCS Super Rugby, a great opportunity to play at a great venue.
We're really looking forward to it. Go well tonight.
Thanks very much.
Fantastic to hear from Danny Milton there. The conditions behind him a lot different to the conditions now. It is a beautiful green pitch, but that's about all that's beautiful here. Hartpury versus Cardiff Met live from Kingsholm. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the world. Great to have the company of Gloucester and England's Mark Atkinson as well. How are you, mate?
Good evening, thanks very much. I was just checking I am on, trying to see you through the state of this pitch and this rain, but no, it's great to be here. I'm excited for what's to come.
Well, this is very much the house that Mark built. What does the pitch play like when the conditions are like this?
I think it's going to be greasy underfoot, and I think you'll see a lot of balls, not drop balls, but I think you'll see if you're playing smart, you put the ball in behind teams when the ball's going to be like this tonight. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it affects handling, but certainly a greasy pitch, that's for sure.
Well, Cardiff Met the first out, looking for 3 victories in a row in BUCS Super Rugby, as are Hartpury. A lot of parallels between the two teams, both started with a victory, then lost 2 and have won 2 subsequently. So it is game 6 of the season for both of these teams. A very warm welcome wherever you're joining us from around the world. In fact, if you're on social media, get in touch. We want to know who you are, where you are, and who you are supporting. It is Hartpury in the famous red who are going to get us underway. Joe Winfield, the outside half, the man with the ball in his hands. Cardiff Met getting ready to receive. The rain is pouring down. See, the famous shed stand is empty, but there is a raucous atmosphere below us. Very much looking forward to this one. Already had a couple of great games in BUCS Super Rugby today. Nottingham 41, Exeter 46. But now it's all about Hartpury versus Cardiff Met. We are underway. That is a good take and a good chase. And Cardiff Met inside their own 22. So Rory Morgan back in the scrum half jersey today. A good kicking game, as has Brad Roderick Evans, his half-back partner. And I think on a night like tonight, Mark Atkinson, they're going to need it.
Yeah, I think you just saw the importance of a good kicking game there. The wind's clearly blowing downfield. Great restart, and it's hard to get out, isn't it? Gives an early field position to Hartpury.
Well, a first look at the set piece for Hartpury. Casey Williams in the 2 jersey. Just the one change for Hartpury after last week's victory. That's on the open side flank. Ellis Hart wears 7 today. He's in for Jack Hewitt. Hewitt's on the bench wearing number 20. Oh, some quick ball off the top. The boys have come to play. That's Tom Warts with the carry on Gloucester's books, so keep an eye on him, Mark. Might be a colleague at some point. Now Winfield tips it on. That's Ollie Holiday off his wing, being wrestled to the ground by Brad Roderick Evans. Top scorer in BUCS Super Rugby last year, and already up over 60 points this year, averaging over 12 points per game. Randall. He's overcooked that one. Jake Thomas calls for the mark.
Opening hit out, you know, Hartpury tried to play a few phases, hit tight round the corner again, sort of sensible play, but I'd just like, you know, the slowing down to take the kick. I think you can get a bit more speed into the box kick setup. You saw it gave so much opportunity to take the ball in the backfield.
Well, we've had a look at the line out. Now time to have a look at the scrum, and this is going to be fascinating contest today. Joe Cowell and Elliot Salt back in the front row for Cardiff Met.
Let's go left of it. Thank you.
Cowell, Chapman, Salt against Short, Williams and Perry. For those of you that have been watching the live streams every week, Cardiff Met destroyed the Exeter scrum down at Kincoid campus. Similar conditions to this, actually, but on the grass pitch over the border.
Whoa!
Cardiff hugging this touchline down here. You would expect to sort of maybe try and find some backfield in this bottom left corner and sort of give your forwards a bit of a respite from this opening.
First scrum penalty, and it goes Cardiff Met's way.
Right head.
on the tight head side as well. So George Perry guilty, and that is a big tick in the box for Joe Cowell, the Cardiff Met captain.
Everyone's thankful, aren't they? Everyone, whether you're a winger, whether you're a tight head, everyone's thankful for the first scrum penalty going your way.
Yeah, because you're usually stood at 12, maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 metres away. You got any idea what's going on?
No, I'm actually sometimes a little bit annoyed when a penalty goes my way. If we've got a good backs move, that's a perfect opportunity to strike from. And then a penalty goes up and forwards get excited now, don't they?
So Connor Chapman throws to the back with that wet ball. And here is Roma Zheng off his wing, getting over the gain line. Josiah Edwards-Giroud making the tackle. Now it's time for the big man, Brandon Harvey, into the 22. Pick and go from Ewan Guy. Potential for Scotland under 20s a little bit later on in the year. It's good efficient carrying here from the Cardiff Met pack. Making small gains, but gains nonetheless. Now, Joe Cowell loves getting his hands on the ball. No scrummaging more though. Brandon Harvey.
No.
USA Eagle under 23 Harvey. It's really good, crude work by the Cardiff Met pack. No width on the ball, but no need. They're within 5 metres here, the Archers. Discipline, direct carrying, making Hartpury work in defence. And so far, at least, Hartpury up to the task. Slow ball, approaching 5 minutes. Another good carry. Bertie Taylor's there. And Hartpury have strayed offside. Now Cardiff Met have got to come away with something from this visit. That's Ewan Guy. Right under the sticks. First venture into the 22. Close to the line, short of the line. But surely it's a matter of time until Cardiff Met open the scoring. Another advantage. Matt Hillary concedes the penalty. Joe Cowell. Joe Cowell's over.
Short, fellas.
Oh, the referee says short. I think he got there, but Met's still going. They are there this time. Relentless from Cardiff Met. The forward pack going to work. It is 5 points under the sticks, and the visitors lead.
You'd have to say justice was done from the phase before, I think. But fantastic play from the line-out, and then just really smart play. Rather than sort of lifting the ball, a lot of the time you see people come around the corner, playing to the short side, lifting the ball. Take the element of the lift from the 9 or lift from another forward out the way, and just pick and go from the 22. I thought it was really like sort of composed play from and looked really sort of decisive as well. They'd obviously went in with that game plan, and Hartpury held well for the 12-15 phases of play. Just needed one dominant shot really to stop the momentum that they never quite got. But yeah, really impressive start from Cardiff.
Well, let's have another look here. Is Joe Cowell hard done by? Because he seemed to have done enough, didn't he?
Try.
Yes, 100%. And he's celebrating. However, next phase, look, Ewan Guy, we're in number 7, picks and goes, burrows through the bodies, and gets the 5 points. The conversion successful by Brad Roderick Evans as well. Brad the Boot, as they call him. Hartpury 0, Cardiff Met 7, and we are back underway.
If he edits that well, that can still be the highlight reel, can't it? That's
no
the
knock
beauty.
on.
I'll tell you what, Joe, I'm going to do you a favour here because the ball's not doing anything. And Joe Cowell scores! There you go, you can cut that up.
Forward move!
And pop it on your highlights reel.
Fine, it's number 1. Too slow.
No, and it was Joe Cowell conceding the penalty.
You,
don't want to put that on the highlights reel, do you? Now, Casey Williams in at first receiver. Tips that on.
Run back. Gents.
I think what I'd like to see sort of from Hartpury at the moment is Cardiff play 14 men front line, just one man in the backfield sweeping. I think, like I said before the game, you just have to, you've just got to keep moving the ball through on a night like tonight. Keep turning the pack, especially if you've not had the best start. Keep your team moving forward, and I think just slide the ball through a few times.
Shot called.
Now they've called for the shot. What do they say? It's never a true converted try until you get the exit right. Cardiff Met haven't got the exit right there. Would you go for the post here, or would you fancy a little dab to the corner?
I think on a night like tonight, I'd like to spend some time down there. I mean, we don't get much choice because most penalties go to the corner for a maul for us at the moment.
Yes, yeah.
but
He's going to come in for the
yeah,
laps.
you got to play to your
get
strengths.
out.
But no, I would have liked to
Outside.
see that, 5 metres out and Hartpury spend some time down there.
Well, there's a player down injured. We're going to have a look at the starting lineups once we see the result of this penalty, but a first opportunity to get some points on the board here for Hartpury. And their supporters really finding their voices as well. Decent strike. Decent results. The flags go up. Hartpury 3, Cardiff Met 7.
What do I know? take the points when they're on offer, obviously.
Well, confirmation then, just the one change as Ellis Hart comes in. Consistency is key for Dan Murphy's men, looking for that 3rd victory in a row. For Cardiff Met, 4 changes. Watch out for the front row replacements for Hartpury, particularly Christopher D'Oliveira. He's down as 18. He's actually wearing 17 because the 18 jersey doesn't fit him. So that gives you an idea of the size of the man. He is huge and seriously effective in the set piece. So I've no doubt that if the scrum continues to go Cardiff Met's way, then we'll be seeing Dolly.
Let's go 9.
Or as he's known amongst the lads, the water tower, sooner rather than later. Now Romajang underneath it, takes that one on his backside and then goes to work as he so often does. That's the Cardiff Met 10-metre line, you can see. Keep an eye on Owen Randall, the Hartpury scrum half as well, because he was the one receiving attention. Yet to know if that will be the end of his line. He's a good story, actually, Owen Randall. Started last season in the Hartpury 6th team.
3's in the ruck,
and ended up on the bench for the first team, and now he's starting in BUCS Super Rugby, so a real success story.
Everyone loves the rags to riches, don't they? That's the type of thing you want to hear. And again, I mean, Hartpury seem to have obviously got a kicker on board.
Jesse, we're in the ruck, we've got to stop.
Often as not, we're seeing at the moment in rugby, you just mentioned about the Exeter score, 42, 46. These massive scores, but I think on a night like tonight, you're probably not going to see those scores. So, I'll probably retract the previous statement. As long as this sort of dissects the post, this is probably going to be a little bit more like a night for 3-6-9 and build a score, I guess.
Well, you've got to credit the kickers for going for it as well. He's got over 40 metres in the wind, in the rain, on an artificial pitch, checking the grass. But 10 minutes gone, and the chance to make it a 1-point game. Joe Winfield to go 2 from 2 off the tee. Oh, it's tight, but the flags go up. Great response from conceding the try. And it's Hartpury 6, Cardiff Met 7.
That's a man who knows his range. He picked up the tee before the ball was over and it dropped over by 3 centimetres. Brilliant rangefinder.
And this is Cardiff Met. 4 changes, as I said. Joe Cowell and Elliot Salt return for the first time since Exeter in round 3. Rest of the pack is unchanged from that massive victory over Nottingham, 39-3. Rory Morgan back in at scrum half and Brad Roderick Evans as well. So we've seen the kicking game of Joe Winfield, but Morgan and Roderick Evans,
let's go,
I've no doubt will be marching Cardiff Met around. And one of the criticisms they've had of themselves is that they've not played in the right area. Will we see better of that this evening?
8. 6.
Ill discipline.
It's frustrating, isn't it? You have a great start to the game, then 2 sort of simple exits for Hartpury, I guess, provide 2 opportunities. And they're the ones that really kill you, aren't they? A pullback is so unnecessary. You've already retained the ball from the kick, and you've done the hard bit on a night like tonight, and then all of a sudden Hartpury go from their own 22 to your 22 off the back of one man's decision.
Cross.
Conversion and a couple of penalties go over. Were you a goal kicker back in your Bedford Blues days, or have I made that up?
I was an attempted goal kicker.
Okay.
Yeah, it was never a pretty sight. Always thinking the next one was missing, that's for sure.
So Hartpury opting for them all this time. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere, so Casey Williams takes a look up. Owen Randalls makes his way in. It's a bit better from Hartpury though, now tiptoeing around the 22. Charlie Short's in there. Ellis Hart as well. He's there in the blue scrum cap. The open side flanker.
Advantage 2 in the side and lifting the leg.
Oh, Connor Chapman conceding the penalty, so Hartpury with a free go at it. It was Wilf McCarthy. Good cover tackle there. Joe Westwood, the Dragons Academy man.
Lifting the leg.
Yeah, impressive defence, good driving more from Hartpury, got the opportunity to shift it on a freebie, but yeah, really impressive defence coming through the back there to shut it down, because they just looked like they had an opportunity. If 10 can hold his feet there and get that through his hands, I think there's an opportunity wide, but he's seen it and he's snuffed it out straight away. Yeah,
new centre partner for Joe Westwood today. Him and Bingo Ivanisevic have got comfortable, but
cut out, please.
Bingo's injured a toe, so David Huetti comes in for the first time at 12 this season. And Hartpury go in search of their first try of the match. It's been a great response from them since going 7 down. And here they are, 7 metres short, with the ball in the maul. And a few backs adding their weight too. Josiah Edwards-Giroux there is at the back. Number 14. Marching towards the line here, Hartpury. This is looking good for the team in red. It's a penalty try. Referee goes under the sticks. Connor Chapman is going to be sent to the bin as well. It's a nightmare couple of minutes for the Cardiff Met hooker. He concedes the penalty that leads to the maul, then concedes the penalty try, and Hartpury lead for the first time.
Like you said, amazing response from Hartpury. Obviously this crowd's really giving them some from beneath us, aren't they? But that's the one you hate, isn't it? You're getting driven over anyway, and then all of a sudden, just because the ref can't see the ball down, he's decided it's going under the sticks, and it's double bubble with a yellow card. But yeah, great response from Hartpury. They've really come back well.
Good atmosphere, isn't it?
You can really hear it. There's 2 blokes in the shed, so not a lot of atmosphere coming from the shed at the moment, but I've never seen that so quiet. But beneath us is fantastic.
Brad Roderick Evans restarts the game.
Stop in front!
And a decent exit from Hartpury, and that's been the difference between the two teams, hasn't it?
Gage, red,
yeah, I think it's easy. You get out how you can tonight, don't you? When the weather's like this, take your opportunities to get out and don't try and think too much about it.
Just a replay of what eventually became the penalty try. Cardiff Met readying a replacement hooker. Tyler Olding coming on, converted back rower. Plays for the Wales Deaf 15. A lot of international pedigree actually in this Cardiff Met team. Connor Chapman, the man who's just been sent to the bin. He's a Wales under-20s hooker.
Time on, Jeds. Jeds, you got 10 metre. You've got 10 metre. Jeds, step up. They've got the 10 metre. Fine.
Comes straight into the game, Olding, and hits his dart. Do you know, I was about to say the rain stopped, but then I've looked at the floodlights and it absolutely hasn't. It's just not quite as biblical as it was at kickoff.
The illusion got you, didn't it? The illusion of the pitch.
The Gloucester microclimate. Anyway, here go Cardiff Met again. Putting that pack to work, still going forward into the 22. And they've got an advantage. Now it'll be interesting to see the decision they make if this maul is stopped, but it doesn't look like it's going to be stopped anytime soon. Rory Morgan being held in. Still penalty advantage here for Cardiff Met. What, 12 metres away from the try line. Confirmed by the referee.
That's now red, black ground.
So here goes the try scorer. Ewan Guy gets the ball ripped from him.
Number 3.
Now, before we have the decision, post or corner?
I think you got to go corner again after that performance, and also that's a 7 against 8 maul that they've just rolled forward. That's really impressive. But the one I would question is, it's a brilliant maul. They've done amazingly well, but they're still 15 metres out when the backs decide to join. Now to rumble the maul another 15 metres is a long way, whereas they had an opportunity to really have a go then. They'd already had the penalty in the bank.
Incredible. So they could have gone for the corner with a great maul. They won a penalty at the last scrum, but they've handed the tee to Brad Roderick Evans to try and make it a 3-point game.
I guess part of my reasoning would also be spend some time down here. You know, you've got another 7 or 8 minutes under the pump. You know, if he kicks this, brilliant, but you're back in your own 22 and then you have to exit. Whereas even if you didn't score from the maul, you're going to spend some time down in the 22 and sort of take some minutes off that clock with the hooker off.
So Brad Roderick Evans, 2 points to his name already this evening. This to make it 5, to cut the gap to 3. Doesn't miss very often, but he's missed that one, and missed it by some distance as well. You're talking about backs joining mauls there. Where are you with the back joining a maul?
I'm not a fan, and we don't get told to do it very often. That's their forwards area speciality, and Skivs doesn't really like us joining, because no doubt the one time we get it wrong will be the one time it costs us the game. So I'm all for it. I'm all for staying out and trying to run a strike move off a penalty.
Because I cast my mind back a few years, and Brad Barrett used to score loads of tries, and if you're the hooker who usually gets those meat pies, you'd be absolutely fuming if the 12 comes in and pinches it.
I think Jimmy Gopperth got Player of the Year at Wasps. I think he got 7 tries off the back of a maul one year, didn't he?
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Little nudge over the top.
Gents, we went nowhere, just knock on my 8.
Smart play. I don't mind it. I know it was touched and I know it was caught in the backfield, but I think it's the first time we've seen some smart kicking play on a night like tonight. You know, the boys are moving forward, couple of phases, positive, kicking behind. Didn't get the results then, but I think that's the type of thing that Cardiff need to be doing, especially whilst they're down to 14 men. Keep turning hard.
Well, that's the balance that Danny Milton and co have got with the Cardiff Met scrum halves. Rory Morgan loves to put the boot on it and get him into position, and then Ali Stacey has got the running game. He's wearing 21 tonight, former Exeter Chief under-18s player. Second scrum of the match. As we're approaching 20 minutes gone here in a wind and rain swept Kingsholm. David Chiwetti packing down at flanker in the absence of the hooker. And there's Roma Zheng in off his wing looking for work. Morgan finds Barney Langton. He's been ever present this season in the engine room. Roderick Evans.
15.
Drilling that one in behind. Yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about. It's smart play. They go 2 phases forward and then just roll the ball through. This whole process will waste another minute for them whilst they're a man short. I really liked it. I thought it was smart play from the Cardiff 10.
So the yellow is about 15 minutes. Just remember that our clock isn't linked in with the referee's watch. It's pretty close, but it's not perfect. So yeah, if it's close after 80, don't get too excited, because there might be a bit of meat left on the bone.
I think Cardiff also need to have a little look at, Hartpury hiding Joe Winfield on this short side. They're swapping the winger in for the 10. So if at some point Cardiff can get a one-on-one with the dangerous wingers, if they are swapping to the short side, I think it'd be an interesting matchup. There's only one reason you hide your fly-offs, isn't it? We've done it numerous times.
And just as you say that, we're packing down for the scrum, and Roma Zheng is taking his position right on this left flank. Oh, not a night to be challenging for a high ball tonight, is it? Whew.
Bind. Set. Advantage. Number 3 folding in.
So an advantage coming here for Cardiff Met again. It's George Perry who's conceded. And there is the kick from Roderick Evans. Zheng goes up. It's fumbled. Oh, but not quite gathered by Ewan Bowden. Butterfingered fullback.
3 turning in and back.
It's a little bit harsh because it's a tough take in the wet.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good option. Don't waste your time trying to play phases from 20 metres out. I think take the 50-50 and if not, stick this in the corner and spend some more time down here.
Well, Joe Cowell, worth his weight at scrum time. And interesting as well, he's the captain of this team, the club captain. But the coaches, not particularly happy with his performance. They benched him for the last couple of weeks, and it seems to have given him a kick up the backside.
Strong, nobody's ever too big to be dropped, are they? I think it's sort of shows strong leadership. I think no captains want to be picked on the idea of being captain, do they? Every captain wants to be picked on being the first pick on the team sheet, and then a captain as a result of that.
Okay, Jets in the line.
So Tyler Olding still on. The replacement hooker with Connor Chapman in the bin. Oh, that's been overthrown and well taken by Ellis Hart, who's done really well. Bounces over the first man. Takes Hartpury up over the 22. Charlie Short continues the good work.
No, he kept it in.
Now Owen Randall, who seems to have run off whatever knock he took early in the game. And another good exit from Hartpury.
Sorry, fellas. Okay.
I feel like he's got away with that. Was that not just outside the 22?
Well, I thought he'd gone outside, but the referee did say it's still in. So, play the whistle. Right, where are you with rugby mullets? Because
there's a lot at the moment.
That is hanging.
There's a lot at the moment, aren't there? I think it must be back in. It must be back in fashion.
I mean, fashion is a...
People have been watching Exeter for too long, haven't they?
Not straight.
Well, now it's Cardiff Met's turn to make a mistake at the line out. An overthrow, then a not straight.
Scrum.
And credit to Hartpury, they've gone for the scrum.
Let's go, fellas.
Just going to drop a name here. I was having a chat to Lewis Liner at the weekend, and I asked him, I'm like, when you go into the barbers, like, what do you ask for?
Don't touch the top, yeah, don't touch the top or back.
Yeah, just get the clippers out, a little bit from behind the ears.
I'll pay you half price.
Charlie Short on the loose head side for Hartpury. I mean, come on, man.
Well, what's he saying to you there? How's he describing that in the barbers then?
Set!
Because George Perry on the tight head side, it's just a good short back and sides, I respect it. Anyway, quickly out from Hartpury, this time better scrummaging, and this is going to be a great challenge for the ball. Slip through Ewan Bowden.
Just see him come off his arm as well, so we just go for the knock-on.
No, and the celebrations from Joe Winfield, the Hartpury 10 as well. That is a big win for him.
Really, really good kick. Really, I know I challenged the idea of swapping out the defensive line, but brilliant kick. And it's all it needs, really, isn't it? That ball never looked like it was being caught, and his forwards will thank him. They've only gone forward sort of 12, 15 metres, but that's all they need to be doing tonight. Just keep moving them forward, and they'll keep thanking you. Especially the big boy with the mullet. He'll keep thanking you for that.
Certainly will. Well, we did ask beforehand for you to get in touch and let us know where you're watching from, who you're watching with. So I'm going to say hello to Charles Rylands, former captain of this Cardiff Met team.
16,
oh, hang on.
That's a tactical substitution. Okay, it's fine. Thank you. That's fine, fellas. Just want to check.
But yeah, Charles went from Cardiff Met, and now he's with your old mates at Bedford Blues as well. So
he'll enjoy himself
I
there.
Players down.
Mike Ray will look after him there, I'd have thought.
Stay on. Yeah.
The less said about that, the better, probably. Yeah. But no, cracking club. Great to have you on board, Charles, and great to have all of you wherever you're watching.
Time on.
Hope you're enjoying this one. These two teams putting on a pretty decent game given the conditions.
And this is a tough scenario, but I would really like them to be having a look at this, saying 9 pop out on this short side, run the ball through and behind, and let a foot race be done.
Yeah, so they've got Brandon Wood on this short side, Hartpury, and then Josiah Edwards-Giroud outside him. Roma Zheng and Brad Roderick Evans defending it, and here they go, Hartpury. Little nudge there for Zheng to chase, and Hartpury playing the territory game.
Yeah, perfect. Just keep the ball in. On a night like tonight, you know, brilliant decision making. I think they've spotted it. Same sort of thing we were just talking about. But just keep that ball in, roll it in behind, and let the scrap happen. But yeah, really smart play from Hartpury.
So Cardiff Met back up to 15 now. Connor Chapman back on. Short numbers in the line for Cardiff Met as well. Safe ball to the front. Well gathered, Barney Langton. Again, they turn to the maul, and Hartpury come up to defend. Got space up the blind side here for Roma Zheng. Good tackle, Edwards-Giroud. Oh, the tip on as well. Front rowers linking up nicely for the Met. Morgan calms things down. Getting a lot of wind coming through the commentary box. It's difficult to tell who it's favouring at the moment, though. It's really swirling round. Knocked on by Tuetti. Ball back with the Reds. Short. He's chopped down low. With a decent kick. Making Bowden work.
Yeah, really smart play again, just finding that backfield. You know, it wasn't the prettiest kick in the world, but you just got to find the bounce, haven't you? Find the, I say grass, but find the turf, and it'll cause them problems. As soon as that ball hits and skids, it's hard to get out from there.
As Cardiff Met are finding. Coming up to half an hour gone. Early try for Cardiff Met. Since then, 13 unanswered points by Hartpury. Decent collision there, Tom Warts. Came through the ACE programme at Hartpury, as we mentioned. He's on the books with Gloucester. Quite fancy him to be quite a good player if you listen to the coaches. And this another tough one for the back three to deal with. Bowden's in all kinds of trouble. This no. Oh no. Well, both fullbacks making a real mess of that. Firstly Bowden, and then Brandon Wood thought it was Christmas.
Things you hate to see. just wait. Just he had all day. Oh, it's such a shame because again, brilliant decision making with a kick, great execution, and you don't want to be catching this, do you?
Oh no, well.
Look at that, and it's just going to pop up for you. It's going to pop up at some point.
And it's
such a shame, such a shame. Great play from Hartpury.
Joe Winfield, pretty much a full season at 10 last year, and even though BUCS Super Rugby experience is fleeting, you play 3, maybe 4 seasons max if you'll do a Masters. Coming into the back after 1 full season can really make a difference at this level, and Joe Winfield showing that tonight. Very mature performance so far from the 10. And now some pressure on the Cardiff Met scrum from Hartpury. And a good carry from Joe Westwood. On this swirling wind, causing havoc. Oh, turnover penalty! Massive for Hartpury. On this time, they have gone for the corner.
Really, I like that. Really applying the squeeze. I think it's a real tough position to get out from, and now we'll see if it'll pay dividends.
Well, they're opting for the maul. It was a penalty try on this near side last time. Cardiff Met trying to work it towards the touchline. Hartpury trying to work it towards the try line instead. It goes to ground. And back-to-back penalties. Under 10 minutes to go until half-time. Feels like quite a pivotal moment in the half, this, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, you know, if they can score here, take themselves out to 20 points to 7, I think that's a really fair reflection of how Hartpury have managed the game so far.
Well, Bertie Taylor took it. Cardiff Met have managed to break it up for now. Rain still teeming down. Charlie Short. Now Randall just loses his balance, so buys Cardiff Met a couple of seconds in defence. That's a big shot on Cameron Cobbett. Oh! Another pick and go, 5 metres short. Ellis Hart. And Cardiff Met looking to slow things down. Joe Cowell's there, ready to make a shot, and instead Hartpury go up the short side, take themselves to within a metre. Then they send the big man forward, Charlie Short. Oh, and he's lost it forward. So the try line has gone begging twice for Hartpury, and the slippery balls defeated them.
I think just exactly what I said about as a positive for Cardiff down there. The idea of lifting the ball when it's this greasy and this slippery, you don't want to be making that extra pass. I think with 2 to 3 metres to go, they could have all got in close, started that pick and go game, and just sort of been patient with it. It's a shame they had to put the extra pass on.
Now the chance to exit. Well, worrying there for Cardiff Met. Joe Cowell, the captain, the loosehead, who's won a couple of scrum time penalties, has gone down injured, so we'll keep a close eye on that. A couple of moustaches already creeping in early in Movember. Will you be partaking this year?
Oh, I don't think anybody's going to see mine this year, but I reckon there's a few boys may have cheated there. I think there's not a chance that they've been freshly shaved from day one, is there?
Absolutely not.
I guess the argument will be raising awareness as opposed to the actual towel. Will you be doing it? Will you be?
I don't get the steadiest of growths.
Yeah, I'm strictly a tash. I can't really join the sides in.
Okay.
It's frustrating. So
I mean, you can't see Mark here. We'll try and send him down pitch side for the post match because he's very handsome. But you get a good beard growth there, don't you?
Good beard growth. It starts to come through a little bit autumnal colours.
Oh yeah. A bit of warmth.
The warmth comes through the dark. Yeah, so I have to watch the length that it gets to.
We'll stick with us at half time as well because we've got an exclusive with Mo Hunt. Her Hartpury team remained undefeated prior to this, and she is always fantastic value. So she'll be pitch side with Claire. And then, of course, we'll be back for the second half as well as Rory Morgan feeds. Another competitive scrum and good pressure from Randall. And somebody's going to go and have to fetch that ball. What happens behind the shed? Because it looks pretty dark.
That's in somebody's. They're never getting that one back, that's for sure. That's in someone's alleyway back there, I think. Kids will have that. That'll be gone.
Another big chance here for Hartpury then. Great pressure in this part of the pitch. And they go for them all again. Looks a bit more efficient this time from Hartpury. Cardiff Met bodies trying to reassemble, trying to take it towards the touchline. And real good strength there from Joe Cowell to send it to the floor. Here's Hart, he's lost the scrum cap, it's probably soaked through. Oh, Cardiff Met sniffing around very close to the turnover. But it remains with Hartpury. They seem to have been camped down here for 5, 6, 7 minutes. Will they come away with a 5-pointer? Charlie Short, who's been busy with the carries. The loose head prop. There's Cobbett. Again, Met defenders meeting them. It's narrow, it's crude, it's brutal from George Perry. Trying to create quick ball, but it's so difficult. Wilf McCarthy desperate to get his hands on it. And there he goes, pushed into contact by Hart. Sometimes we see that penalised, but not on this occasion. Again, Short. It's Joe Westwood. Oh, they managed to pinch it, Cardiff Met. And Roma Zheng, not known for his kicking game, but he's really caught hold of that. And again, relief for the Archers.
Yeah, it's another frustrating end to a good field position for Hartpury. But Cardiff are defending well, aren't they? Really hitting them back, really sort of composing the tackle area, not chasing too many breakdowns, just knowing that eventually Hartpury are going to spill one. It's hard to go through 10, 12 phases in this weather.
In these kind of conditions, you sort of know what's coming. Do you think that helps?
Absolutely, yeah. You can't have too much distraction. You can't have too many dummy runners. You can't have, because everybody's sort of mostly just concentrating on catching and passing the ball or catching and carrying into contact. So I don't think it needs to be too complicated in the game like this. You find field position and come away with points, and that's the bit that Hartpury failed to do, isn't it?
Well, Casey Williams, we were talking about Bad Barnett's. He must have known the cameras were here this evening because he's definitely had a fresh fade for the occasion. You've got to respect it.
He's through the middle.
Like an afternoon fade, I reckon. That was a Wednesday afternoon one, wasn't it?
Cardiff Met latched onto the ball here. Barney Langton's done well, and he's forced the turnover. That is superb from Barney Langton.
Yeah, 2 big plays, one on the line, all of a sudden one at the halfway line, and Hartpury are kicking themselves because then we talked about it earlier. Do you take the points? Do you not take the points when they're on offer? And I think it's proven to be that night that you're going to have to start to build a score. I was guilty of saying go to the corner early on, but I think this is where you're thinking, do you need to start building scores, isn't it?
And how important will that missed penalty be as well? Brad Roderick Evans had the opportunity at 13-7 to make it 13-10. Just under 5 minutes to go until half-time. And we might have to look left soon. Feels like we haven't done that for a little while. No one on the short side for Cardiff Met. Roma Zheng stood in between 10 and 12.
Amazing atmosphere, isn't it? Just the drum could probably do a little bit more, sort of just a little bit more work on it, but
yeah.
I'm enjoying what's coming from beneath us, that's for sure.
It's a bit more slappy. It's like a click. I want to doof, you know?
Yeah, and a couple of drum lessons. A couple of rhythmic lessons, but I've enjoyed it so far. The atmosphere is brilliant.
Well, we've been lucky to have some brilliant occasions so far in BUCS Super Rugby. Exeter Uni playing against Cardiff at Sandy Park. Bath have been at the Rec, of course. We're here at Kingsholm as well. All huge occasions. Nice little nudge in behind. Joe Westwood gives chase, and that is a good cover there from Brandon Wood. And he's done well to dust off that drop over the line to remind himself that his hands can catch.
Smart play again from the scrum there. You don't have to do too much. You find them, Hartpury in a tough exit situation here again, and the pressure's on them now.
That is an interesting kick. I'm not sure it's gone where it was meant to, but it's a brilliant chase, and Roma Zheng gets marmalised. Harvey up the blind side wing. Not sure he spends too much time there, the big lock forward. Cardiff forwards latch, and it's spewed forward once more. Oh, spiral! Clip it up and put it on TikTok. I love that kick. Oh, and Roma Zheng has had a stinker, and Joe Winfield has gone and barked in his face.
He's really let him know. The arrogance of the man to hit a spiral. The wind is circling, the rain's falling, and he plucks out a spiral from his own 22. Love to see it.
Oh, hang it in the Louvre. Can we have, oh, we're going to have another look at it as well. Off the side of the boot. And it just comes back in. That was perfect. That's Ronan O'Gara-esque. Beautiful. But yeah, speaking of big occasions, there's been one Cardiff clash already. They play those at the Arms Park, and they sold all of the tickets to the point where they could have opened every stand, and I think they might for the one in December.
It's brilliant, honestly. I always said the atmosphere, you can feel it beneath us, but if you get a nice night for it especially, I imagine a few ciders have been supped this afternoon in preparation for this, but it's well worth it. It's brilliant, isn't it?
We were talking about the away trips earlier in the Women's League, because I don't think there are many leagues, other than the URC, where you've got to fly to South Africa, but the teams in that league, you've got Hartpury, Exeter, Loughborough, Cardiff Met, Durham, Edinburgh.
All I'm thinking is away trips.
Away trips!
Oh, there we go. Imagine the songs, that's...
You need a serious songbook, you need a song Bible, let alone a songbook. Now Hartpury back in the Met 22. And here it goes. There's Williams to the line. The pass is loose. Good pickup by Chiuetti. Sliding in on the greasy surface. That not an easy one. And then Rory Morgan tries to sell the dummy. But as you said earlier, Mark Atkinson, not the easiest of things to sell on a night like tonight. A couple of minutes to go until half-time. Since opening the scoring, Cardiff Met have been under the pump and will probably consider themselves quite lucky to be less than a converted score behind as we approach the halfway point.
Exactly what I was thinking. I think if they could get in this score, I think Cardiff would really fancy themselves turning around with what appears to be the win behind Hartpury at the moment.
Well, that not touched by Bertie Taylor, and that not struck particularly well. Oh, they've got into the Eeyores as well. Do you have to pass some kind of test to get into Kingsholm?
Well, I mean, clearly not. You've been here, haven't you? So, clearly it's not a tough test to pass. Do you enjoy rugby? Can you shout Eeyore?
George Perry comes away with it. Again, scrappy lineup, but Hartpury in charge of possession and territory once more. Williams gets his head down.
There's only one place this ball's going, and I would not want to be the 15 underneath it.
Well, Zheng takes the position in the middle. It's not going to go that far, but it is going to be another one to contest. That is a brilliant, brilliant take. Under pressure, in the wind, and it's back with Cardiff Met. That's Jake Bond conceding the penalty. Been good over the ball, Hartpury.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity, I think. You know, it looked like we were going to go in at half-time. Obviously, you said could be another 5 minutes for all we know, but yeah. There's shot called.
With this wind.
Wow, I'd be chasing this kick.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
On the angle, in between the 10 metre and the halfway, Joe Winfield fancies it, and you've got to respect it. Really interesting one, Joe Winfield. We talked about his BSR experience, but like so many of these boys in the Hartpury jersey, he has been on the journey. Came through the race programme, so he's done it all with college. Now with the university, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up playing for the RFC in the championship as well. He has kicked 2 penalties. Didn't have a go at the conversion because that was a penalty try. Is to take his tally to 9 points. He's giving it a good whack, but doesn't wrap the boot around it, and it remains 13-7.
It's a great strike though, wasn't it? Fair play to him, he's really hit the ball well tonight, hasn't he?
Well, both kickers have been unsuccessful with 1 penalty, but this one is in the balance as the teams jog to the sheds. Cardiff Met opened the scoring. And then Hartpury went on somewhat of a rampage. They've spent a lot of time in the Met 22, but they've only got a 6-point lead to show for it. At half-time here, it's Hartpury 13, Cardiff Met 7. So do stick with us. We'll be hearing from Mo Hunt. She will be pitch side with Claire shortly, but we're going to have a look at some of the highlights before that. I mean, there weren't a huge amount. There was a lot of incident around the try line. This was where it all began. We're only going to see the final few phases here, but this was really, really disciplined from Met early in the game, given the conditions.
Yeah, I thought they started the game brilliantly, and I know we said they went through from the lineup, went straight through about 15 phases, picking a go in either side, finding the weak spaces, and yeah, really disciplined play.
We're going to have another look at it. If you're a Joe Cowell fan, if you're Joe Cowell's family, he didn't get awarded the try, but he's definitely touched it down there, isn't he?
And celebrating. That's what you like to see from the big fella, don't you?
Well, hopefully there'll be some kind of fine later for celebrating without being awarded the try.
I think you just saw the difference in that set to the one we talked about on the field with Hartpury, when they were a few times within a few metres and just trying to lift the ball to the runners and spill the ball. And you've seen a brilliant strike there that he'd already turned, and I think he was back in his own 22 by the time that went over the bar.
It was brave because it didn't go over the bar by much, did it? Right, how much impact is Josiah Edwards-Giroux making on this driving maul?
Josiah, we've all been there. It's the thought that counts, isn't it?
It is.
He's there for the boys.
In the season of goodwill, it's the thought that counts, but that was the penalty try. That was the moment of the half for me, that beautiful spiral by Joe Winfield.
He'd have found the corners at Toman Park with that, wouldn't he? You were right. I think the reference would have been lost on a lot of these boys of Rowan O'Gara hitting them into the spiral corners of Toman, but that was a lovely touch. And then just a few missed chances, wasn't it? That was the only thing. A few missed chances on the line.
Well, that sets us up beautifully for a second half. I'm going to let Mark Atkinson show me where I can get a cup of tea. It's Hartpury 13, Cardiff Met 7, but now it is time for a real half-time treat because Claire is with Mo Hunt.
Buckets, biblical, weather for dogs, however you want to describe it, it's disgusting here at Kingsholm. It's one thing that can brighten up any occasion, especially after her side put on a bonus point win and now sit top of the Women's National League table. How does that feel?
Well, credit to the girls, the work that they're putting in behind the scenes, like everything about them, they're absolutely spot on at the minute. I can't fault them, so yeah, chuffed.
Well, you're sitting pretty in first place, but it's going to be another thing sustaining that momentum and staying at the top of the table, because it's the most hotly contested league I think we've ever seen. Is this a side that has what it takes?
I mean, I hope so. There's been some pretty tricky starts. So Edinburgh away, that was definitely a massive learn for us going up there. I was just saying to Georgie, one of your colleagues, that we actually had 17 errors and about 19 penalties, something daft like that. So really good to get a result like that in those conditions off the back of that performance last week.
What did you say to them at half-time? Because the win felt not in the bag, but fairly safe. But like you said, the weather is such a leveller. Was it a case of just keeping cool, trusting processes, going through fundamentals?
Yeah, I think maybe a bit harsh, but we just needed to see more from them in terms of just the effort to get back in the game, to get off the line, especially in defence. I think in attack, it kind of, like you said, it's a leveller, but in defence, I just wanted to see a bit more hunger from the girls, and the same with our forwards coach Sam as well. So yeah, it was good to see that the bench brought a little bit of impact as well. That was nice to see, and that the girls definitely came out and tried to put that little bit of extra effort on.
You mentioned defence. What did you make of the Archers' defence? Because up in commentary, I was with Ellie Gilbert, and she could not speak highly enough of their heart, their work ethic, their ferocity.
Oh no, 100%. And I think that for me is probably the biggest disappointment out of today, in terms of I feel like we got outworked, and there was a hunger about Cardiff today that I don't think we had as a squad. So that's back to the drawing board for us, to look at how we actually generate that in the girls, because for me that's a mindset, and I think some people either have it or you don't, and there's a lot of people in our squad that are coming through at the minute as well that are hungry for that shirt. So yeah, definitely one that I need to see a bit more from the girls with.
Let's talk about some of the names coming through, because of course we're all familiar with Mia Venner, with Emma Singh. There are, with Pip Hendy, your team behind you cheering you on. This is of course your moment in the spotlight. We know all of those names, but perhaps people might not have known Steph Alce when she stepped onto the field today for the live stream, or maybe Lucia Scott, who got player of the match. How rich is the talent that you're selecting from?
Oh, it's amazing. I think we've got 13 girls going off to England under 20 this weekend, which is just incredible. It speaks volumes of the recruitment that's been happening, but also the girls that want to be in this programme. We've also got 4 under 20 girls that are going off to Wales as well. So it's across both borders. It's amazing to see. I think Steph Alce for me has been an absolute shining light since she's come, not just for the Hartpury University team, but what she's doing in the Gloucester Hartpury shirt as well, and everyone's speaking very highly of her in the club at the minute, so full credit to her, because I know she's a home bird. She sat behind with her mum and dad. She's a home bird. She struggles being away from home, but you wouldn't tell at all when she steps on the pitch. She's absolutely phenomenal.
Elsewhere, Hartpury University 2's got a win today, so that's 2 for the girls for Hartpury. The men are up in this match. Gloucester men are flying in the Premiership. They put Exeter to the sword on Friday night. The circus, Gloucester Hartpury, are looking immense this year for the Prem 15s. Is it really exciting to be at the coalface of this setup right now?
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's not just the fact that it's successful. It's easy to enjoy when you're successful, but for me the enjoyment is the girls. It's the people around the setup, it's the coaches, the family feel that we have at the club, and that's throughout. That's something we're trying to breed right from college, all the way up through university and beyond, and I'm super proud to be part of that.
You spoke to us very honestly last season about how being a coach of this setup was wonderful, but it was a really steep learning curve for yourself. Where are you on your coaching journey right now?
Oh my God, guys, the most steep learning curve. I thought last year was hard. This year, obviously, the management of the girls, trying to get that second team involved as well. And I get it from a player point of view, but it's been super tough. The first couple of months, just trying to get both teams out and keep everyone happy, which is never going to happen. It's quite a difficult one to manage. But honestly, like I said, I'm super proud to be part of the setup. I'm very proud of the girls, super proud of the second team, super proud of everyone involved at the minute. So yeah, can't speak highly enough.
And just finally then, putting on your coaching hat, your more experienced by the day coaching hat, if you were in that dressing room right now speaking to the Hartpury boys, what would you be telling them to make sure that Gloucester make it 2 from 2 here tonight?
Just build the lead. I know that they opted for the kick there. I think it's a really good decision going into half time. If that goes over, that's happy days, but just keep it simple. You've got the lead, just keep grinding it down, play in the right areas, all the cliches, but you know that it works, and that's why everyone says it. So yeah, for me, just patience, keep balling, play down there.
Excellent. Can we get that piped into the dressing room, because there were some very wise words in that. Mo, thank you so much for your time, for your insight. Congratulations on the win. You're top of the table.
Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Back to you, Dave and Mark.
And thank you, Mo, as well. Great to have you involved. She's a good egg, is Mo Hunt. They should have definitely taken her to the World Cup. I'm going to get that off my chest, but England's loss is Women's National League's gain, and she's doing a fantastic job with the Hartpury women, who remain undefeated, 3 from 3, defending the title that they won at Six Ways a couple of months ago. Time absolutely flies. Right then, we have got an empty pitch, some teams in the shed. So what do you want to talk about? I mean, look, we brought you here this evening. Great to have your company. What have you thought of the game? What have you thought of the standard? What have you thought of the atmosphere, the crowd? It's all right, this BUCS Super Rugby, isn't it?
I've enjoyed it, yeah. Like I said to you before, I've seen a lot more advertised in the last few years. I think it's great that there's been more talk on social media about it. I wasn't sort of too naive coming in that it was going to be a good standard. I wasn't expecting, sorry, that's worded poorly. I was expecting to be a good standard. I've not been let down. I didn't think, this is going to be a uni game. I knew there was going to be some good players out there. There's going to be some real talented boys who want to push on in their careers, and that's exactly what we've got so far. And I think we're safe to say it has actually dried up now. It's not just an illusion anymore.
Uh-oh.
And I think we could get some better, some sort of a few more phases played in the second half and a little bit more attacking rugby, hopefully.
What, so the backs aren't going to need pocket warmers? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think they'll just be joining mauls. We've all done it, boys. Don't worry about it. We've all done it, especially on this pitch. We've all done it. But I think it's definitely stopped. And the one thing about this place is that it dries up quickly as well. That pitch will dry up really quickly.
Well, you're talking about joining mauls. There are some good stories about you and lads joining clubs and thinking you were a second row.
Honestly, it's happened everywhere I've gone. Unfortunately, it happened. Probably worst case was on the bar bars week, and the boys not only not knowing who I was, but also thinking that I was a member of staff. So it's happened worse than just out of position, that's for sure.
Well, the Barbarians, they're about to embark on an absolute monster tour, aren't they? Talk to me about putting on the black and white. That must have been pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the best weeks of my rugby career. I don't remember masses of it. It is as you'd expect. It fulfilled everything I wanted it to fulfill, and it was brilliant. I mean, we got battered at the end of the week by England, so.
You got a couple of meat pies though, didn't you?
Yeah, stumbled over. Honestly, it was like that, stumbling over. That was sort of summed up the week. But it was very special, and I think what they're doing this time round is pretty brilliant, especially the way rugby is. The fact they're playing Bath. I know a couple of boys getting an opportunity. A couple of Worcester boys are playing. A couple of Wasp boys are playing. So, teams missing out on finances, and they're stepping up to play. I think it's great what they've done.
One of the reasons I wanted to talk about it is because they're occasions, aren't they? And for these lads here, as you said, some of them might go on to play pro rugby, Prem, URC or whatever, or play in the championship or play club rugby and really enjoy it. However, to play here at this brilliant stadium in front of a crowd, a lot of whom you'll know, they're your mates and they're cheering for you, these are special things that you need to make the most of.
Massively, yeah. We touched on it before. The crowd down there having a time of their life, aren't they? It's brilliant stuff. Everyone comes out on a Wednesday night. I think there's been a massive downer on rugby recently, hasn't there? But the quality that's on the pitch, at all levels at the moment, this has been a brilliant watch in really tough conditions. And like you said, these boys they've got, hopefully most of them have got family here to watch. They're playing at Kingsholm for an opportunity. That's what it is. It's a brilliant opportunity, and one that I think they'll remember. Like you said, a lot of them come through the system, played at Hartpury, probably always wanted to play at Kingsholm, and this is a brilliant night for them. I just hope nobody's nicking my boots, because that's always the worry, isn't it? When whoever's changing your spot down there is looking at your box thinking, I'll have them.
Oh, do you leave gear here?
I'm hoping the kit man's moved it out, because I wouldn't trust any of those uni boys with a changing room full of kit, would you?
Seriously though, what size are you? Because Jack, who does all the brilliant social media content, he hasn't been able to get on the pitch because they don't let you on this 4G if you haven't got any boots on.
Tell him to get down there. I'm not going to use any of my boots all year. You can take a pair of size 12s home with him.
Oh, do you know what? He is a size 12. I tell you who's definitely a size 12 is Joe Cowell as he leads Cardiff Met out. He is a big lump. He reminds me of Thanos, actually.
He'll thank you for that later as well.
Yeah. Wait till he clicks his fingers. But he's a fascinating one. So when Cardiff Rugby were having their disaster last year, he stepped in, played in the Champions Cup, and then he's back here playing for Cardiff Met. Didn't play for Wales 20s this year because he wanted to do a pre-season, which I think is insane. Who wants to do a pre-season?
Honestly, talk about making memories though. That sort of Cardiff era where they suddenly had 3 weeks of needing players and stepping in and playing really well, didn't they? They scared you all lot, didn't they?
They gave Harlequins hell, home and away.
Scared you all lot. I think was it Toulouse at home, was it? That they really put through. No,
Racing.
Racing at home, they really put through the ringer as well. It was brilliant to watch for a few weeks.
Well, that was the game that Joe Carroll played in. Imagine that, you play BUCS on a Wednesday and then you play Racing on a Saturday. What an experience.
You got Anton Dupont at the back of a line out coming at you. Yeah, it's just the same as a Wednesday night.
He was really good that day as well.
He was. Scored a hatful, didn't he?
But the players are back out. You're back on board. Great to have you here. We can't have a rugby match yet because we haven't got a rugby ball. Here comes one. Look, if it's not beautifully spiralled by Joe Winfield, I'm not interested at all. But this one is in the balance. Hartpury 13, Cardiff Met 7. Hartpury had the conditions in the first half, but it does seem to have calmed down. Here's Brad Roderick Evans. 2 points from Brad the Boot, 63 for the season, and he's going to get us restarted. 40 minutes to go. Who is going to get 3 victories in a row in BUCS Super Rugby, or will we see another draw? We've already had one today, a 17-all between Leeds Beckett and Cardiff University. Crazy result that. Cardiff have been flying high. They've beaten Durham, they've beaten Exeter, they beat Cardiff Met for the first time, all in their history. And then Beckett not even looked like winning all season. And they've got a 17-all draw. Great result in a great league as Elliot Salt takes a big carry. A bit of ball here for Joe Westwood. Out to Roma Zheng, off his wing, shifted out to Jake Thomas. Brandon Wood called into defensive action. Cowell takes it flat. He's met by Dan Cook and co. Roderick Evans. Elliot Salt, the front rowers, going to work here for Cardiff Met. It's out the back to Roderick Evans again. Little nudge in behind, one for Thomas to chase, doesn't quite get there. And it's been knocked on, but an early statement of intent here by the Archers.
I think the best rugby we've seen of the night, wasn't it? I think one thing I got it early in the first half as well. A couple of tip balls from the front row of Cardiff, brilliant. The interplay coming out the 22 earlier on, and then a couple there, just getting people one-on-one, some big carries, and then happy to spread the ball as well in these conditions. And then, like we said before, putting that ball in, causing a little bit of problems. They didn't get the rewards from it there, but I think they'll see the benefits from doing it. It was great play.
First scrum of the second half. Not received any news of any replacements, so it'll be the 2 front rows that pack down, and you'll certainly know when there's a tight head replacement for Hartpury, because Chris D'Oliveira will come on.
Set.
In it comes from Randall, and at the blind side goes Hillary, the captain. Decent carry from him, gets rid of Jake Bond.
Use it!
Spent a lot of time craning our necks into this particular 22. One thing Cardiff Met haven't been able to do in the game so far is really play territorially. Will they be able to change that in the second half?
You just on that sort of instance there, you play off the scrum, you play to an area where you could kick it, you then take another phase. I think that's always the risky phase for me on a night like tonight. Like I said in the first half, so take your exits when they're on offer, I think.
Now, I'm not going to ask you for a decision for what, probably 30, 35 minutes yet, but just to let you know, you're on man of the match duty tonight, okay? Hartpury have got their hands on this, and Randall is going to have another chance to clear. That's Hillary, the captain. Big, direct South African.
Use the ball, please.
It's quite interesting, is Cardiff Met asking Hartpury, is this a library? To which the obvious joke is there a library at Hartpury University?
I'm not sure I'm in a position to answer on behalf of Hartpury, but this is amazing. The back and forth beneath us. I keep wanting to look down to see if they are actually standing up for the love of Hartpury, but I can only assume they are.
No, really good turnout. And as I said before, we have had a few as Cardiff Met got the blind side. Oh, it's just gone forward off Ewan Guy. as Connor Chapman thought he was strolling in for what would have been a 70-metre try by the time he told it in the pub after. Yeah, up the blind side. A good decision by the referee.
They're always frustrated ones, aren't they? They work really, really nicely in training. They sort of work the space brilliantly and then just overrun it. That would have been it, wouldn't it? That was his career made, that one.
Oh. Speaking of the highlights reel.
Go! Fine! Set!
Messy scrum, but it's Hartpury ball. I think Randall thought he was going to get a penalty there, but Wilf McCarthy
Balls out, balls out, balls out.
Gets over the gain line.
Tackle!
Randall wanted Hillary to take that. Casey Williams is going to drive it on. Joe Cowell meets him with a shoulder.
Use the ball!
Owen Randall.
Eight behind the ball.
He's been around a few clubs. Latonians. That's where he started his rugby. He was up in North Wales with RGC as well. But yeah, that 6th team to 1st team jersey is a brilliant one.
Offside.
RGC, that was they were coming through when I was first at Sale. I was probably 2008. They were really trying to form, and we didn't really have many games those days for the academy. We basically just played RGC 4 or 5 times home and away. It was
like the Scottish Premier League.
It was it was a strange year for us. A lot of training, not a lot of games, but a lot of games against RGC.
Rugby Gogledd Cymru. Hence the reason a lot of people in England call them RGC. So Ewan Bowden is down. Played most of his rugby last year in the WRU Championship with Cardiff Met. Quite a few players down in various positions. Steph Davis, he had an op on a broken fib and ankle. A few scrum halves down as well, but Rory Morgan and Ali Stacey doing the job for the Archers. What is Roma Zheng doing? Just squatting down the areas.
Just keeping himself warm there, isn't he?
Sure there's a name for that squat. And this attention that Ewan Bowden's getting, taking a little bit longer than he'd like. You are right though, the rain has stopped, and that isn't something that I thought we were going to say tonight.
Keep an eye on how much purchase he gets on this. Let's try and guess how much wind behind him and whether that's going to play a big factor as well. I think it's definitely still going that way.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on that tree that's in between the big screen and the Karcher roof. There's a bit of wind flying through that. Cardiff Met back into the 22. Still no points in the second half, but only 6 minutes gone.
Gents, we spoke about this beforehand. If you come up the line, you're not having to run in up. In the line, and then you go. Just come up a little bit. You're making the line big. I've asked them to be in the line, right? Gents, let's go then, please.
Impressed by the standard of the refereeing as well. I know refs get a lot of hard time rugby at the moment, but where would they be coming from?
Oh, a lot of them are on the journey to the top level, or at least they hope so. So this side of the border, it's RFU refs, but we'll come back to that because Cardiff Met are galloping towards the line, looking for try number 2. And they've got 6 metres to go. The pick from Langton. And once again, they set the big men ready to go. Bertie Taylor, the Gloucester number 8.
Offside, number 5.
Oh, advantage here. Big chance. Cardiff Met licking their lips. David Chiuetti, the 12.
Knock on there, going back.
But yeah, this side of the border, there'll all be RFU refs, WRU refs for Cardiff Uni, Cardiff Met and Swansea. But yeah, can't have any complaints, can you? Clear communication. No messing.
He should have been in West London, shouldn't he, on Saturday?
Referee was brilliant in West London on Saturday.
Discipline in this area, please.
But of course, at this level as well, no TMO support. You've got to make the decisions. You rely on your ARs. And more often than not, we get a really good standard of refereeing in BUCS Super Rugby in the Women's National League.
Fine.
Now Cardiff
More
Met
access through those two
through Bertie Taylor. Connor Chapman. Advantage coming. They're not going to need it. Chapman.
Just 1 sec, check the check.
Hasn't touched down. Looked like he had done.
So, got 8 side entry. I haven't seen the clear grounding, so I'm going to penalty try yellow card to 8. Yeah. I haven't seen clear grounding. I've got 8 side entry. I'm going penalty try.
Oh wow, now that is a potentially game-changing moment. Looked like Connor Chapman had grounded the ball, but in what can only be described as a piece of rugby poetry, Connor Chapman, having been yellow carded and had a penalty try awarded against him. Let's take a look at him here. I mean, he's grounded that ball. The referee was in a great spot. However, there was a Hartpury player there. He hasn't second-guessed himself. What did we just say about the TMO? And the captain, Matt Hillary, is set to the bin.
It's almost like we just talked about the standard of refereeing as well. That is amazing commentary. I apologise. I believe the try was scored, so I think Hartpury have probably been hard done to there, if I'm honest.
Either way, that makes it a great game, 13-14. Now, Hartpury's turn to defend with 14 players, but they have got their hands on the ball. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Casey Williams up over halfway. Mikkel Christiansen's come on the loose head side, and Christopher D'Oliveira on the tight head side. But it is D'Oliveira wearing 17 and Christiansen wearing 18. Some big old boys coming on for Hartpury. And that kick just overcooked.
All on now.
Oh, lovely step in midfield. That's the back rower, Jake Bond. Dancing feet, and gets them up over the gain line. Langton thinks about the tip on, but thinks better of it. Now it's out the back. Roderick Evans drills that one low. Woods there. That's back up the tram lines, and there's no one deep for Cardiff Met, so they're going to have to chase back. Good chase from Wood on his own kick. Really good chase. Excellent commitment from the fullback.
No, no, no. Thank you.
And then Roderick Evans doesn't gamble, clears the ball to touch.
Love to see it, don't you? Really made his own play, sort of, decent kick down the touchline, but gave it his all in the chase. And I just thought it was a little bit sloppy at the back from Cardiff. They got themselves in trouble when they didn't need to. They just had ages to get rid of that ball, and I keep saying, just get rid on a night like tonight.
So a couple of updates from around the grounds. We've already had 2 confirmed results. Leeds, Beckett and Cardiff with that 17-17 draw. Nottingham 41, Exeter 46. 2 bonus points for Nottingham as they continue their impressive start to life in BUCS Super Rugby. But another 5 points on the road for Exeter. A couple of games live the same time as this one as well, as Hartpury look to put some width on it.
12!
Nudge in behind. Romajang is touched in the air. So that'll be Cardiff Met ball. Bath versus Loughborough looks a good game as well. That at Bath University, 33-21. And Durham looking to respond from that shock defeat last week. They're 29-21 up against Swansea University. Cardiff Met making the front row changes as well. Matthew Scott coming on, and Ben Murphy into the front row, replacing Salt and Cowell. More dynamic props around the park.
Fine. More.
Connor Chapman still on in the front row for Cardiff Met. Look at this work from Dan Cook, trying to disrupt the ball. He was unlucky in the end. Not that unlucky though, because it's penalty time. And the big man, Chris D'Oliveira. And he is a big man as well, isn't he? Number 17.
There's no moving that over ball, is there? He locked down and You had to hit that with a crane to get it. Oh no, you don't want to see that collision again.
Decent response to Hartpury, still down to 14, remember?
He's a big fella, isn't he?
Sorry, guys.
Yes, yes he is.
Edge of the line. Edge of the
I
line.
know that he's 6'6",
Edge of the line.
but I don't know how many kilos.
5 calls.
But I'd go with 100 and
6.
something.
5.
Yeah, it's a fair start, isn't it? 100 and something. You build them all around that, that's for sure.
Good competition, more.
And that is exactly what they're going to do. Mikkel Christiansen, who's come on, we're in number 18. He's not a small guy either. Cardiff Met managed to stifle that particular attack, but Hartpury with some field position. Cam Cobbett crunching into the contact zone. Williams, he's been busy.
No!
Cardiff Met called off the ball. Ben Murphy, the man. Dan Cook. Centre of the
Off the
field,
leg
in between
side.
the 22 and the 10. Here is D'Oliveira.
Not on the ball.
Slow ball for Hartpury, slower than they'd like as Warts gets chopped. Randall and then Dan Cook. Oh, great collision. That's Matthew Scott.
That's where Hartpury have got to be smart. Yeah, just thinking it. Hartpury have to be smarter than that. They can't keep playing side to side and going
Number
backwards.
5 on the
And they just
floor,
need to
double
carry on
roll.
what they're doing in the first half and finding some backfield space.
Who's captain now, fellas?
Jack Wickham has come on as well. Big physical back rower. We're in number 20.
Coming away from the body, right? I need to see it at the ruck. I just need to see a clearer release before I can reward you.
Yeah, Wickham started the game against Exeter.
Last penalty, number 5, double roll.
Couple more tries up
10
at Hollow
meters
Drift as well. It's now Durham at 36, Swansea 28. A lot of optimism around Swansea at the start of the season. Hugh Gustafsson and James Hook coaching down there, of course. Not really hit their straps yet, though. Scoring plenty of tries, but conceding plenty too.
Come on, come on.
But they grew into last season.
Come on.
Hoping to do the same here. 15 minutes of the second half gone. 1 point in the game. Wickham gathers the line out. Connor Chapman there at the back. Rory Morgan strolls in. They miss out Tiueti. Lovely ball, lovely line. Joe Westwood searching for first phase play. And Westwood shows a clean pair of heels. Cardiff Met 19, Hartpury 13.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think that was actually decision made on the gain line. I think there was nothing pre-called about the end of the play. You see him show the ball inside. I think that was being his primary ball to the winger, and then that didn't open up, so he's played the short ball to Westwood. He's been brilliant all night. Came out the back, slotted the Hartpury 10 early doors to close down a play. Took 2 balls in the air early on. I think I've been very, very impressed with him so far today.
He is one to keep an eye on. Wales under-20s, Dragons Academy. And as a centre yourself, you've got to love seeing boys hit lines like that.
Lovely line. I would not have been able to put the clean pair of heels to it, but wow. Yeah, yeah, lovely line. Love to see that again, but just great delay as well on the pass.
Well, we are going to get the chance to see it again.
And this is nice. And then as he comes out, I think as I've seen it live, he just shows the ball inside, holds up the defender, and then just too good at the gain line to pick the right option. Show inside, play to the outside. Really nice finish.
Yeah, desperate swing of the arm from Josiah Edwards-Giroud. Every now and then you make one of those and it's a game-changing ankle tap, but you can just tell from the reaction, they know how important that try is.
No!
And it just takes the lead beyond a converted score too. Hartpury yet to add to the total in the second half. And that is a brilliant exit. Oh, it's nearly one of the 50-22s of the season.
Keep coming out.
So Rory Morgan takes it. Ewan Guy, early try scorer, puts it on. Cardiff Met deciding to run it from inside their own 22, but then Roderick Evans with that weird little end-over-end kick that's not that easy to take. drilled back, and here come Met, dancing feet from Bond again, loves to put the step on. On a night like tonight, good to see a BUCS try as well.
A first phase try. Everyone wants to come out to see a first phase.
No!
I love seeing Bond come from the back. He skips like Marcus Smith, doesn't he, when he gets going across the field? It's some great footwork for a big fella.
So you're doing a bit of that work at the moment, are you? First phase plays and coming up with some magic for the Gloucester boys?
Trying to, yeah, seeing what's out there, seeing what other teams are doing. You know, I think we're about to enter a period of wet weather rugby though, aren't we? That's the only problem, but it's not quite as easy to do on a cold Friday night when it's the type of weather we got this today. But you know, they're the type of ones that you want to have, that you've practiced all week, and you just get a perfect opportunity 40 metres out. Wingers have still got to be deep, so they can't come and get you too much, and there's a chance to strike at them. It was really well executed.
Given how much they love a maul here, how often do you actually get to run some moves?
Yeah, no, it's safe to say, well, I think we're going to have to come up with a few more, because I think people are starting to concentrate all their efforts against our maul. So all that does, though, is gives you opportunities to play around with it. You know, play sort of quick breakout plays, play shift plays, and we've got some smart operators with the maul as well, so they know how to pick and choose when to use it. But it's been one of those things that's, since it's happened and since this maul's become part of our game, it's just changed everything about it. Everyone's scared of it, and really, you know, if you can concentrate on 1 or 2 maul tries a game, it changes everything.
Halfway to a bonus point. Cardiff Met 1 try away from a bonus point here against Hartpury, who've made a couple of changes in the back line. Reese Price has come on at scrum half. Bristol Academy, fresher, playing 9 actually. And Bevan Howells were in 23 as well. Keen-eyed BUCS Super Rugby supporters might remember him from doing his undergrad at Bath, where he played plenty of BSR. Brother Jamie was a Hartpury boy. He's doing a masters. Stood there in the centres. Another rampant rugby mullet.
It's just waiting to see how long it would take you to mention that. It's another tidy one, isn't it?
It's just such commitment to bad taste, isn't it?
So is the dedication growing the mullet out, or is that a long head of hair cut into a mullet then?
I don't know. Are there hard and fast rules?
Does it start as a short mullet and grows in though, or was that a long head of hair that's been cut into a mullet? That's
like, you know when you shave your head and it grows back and you've got that phase where it's not a shaved head or anything. The short mullet is like that, isn't it? It's absolutely gross.
The tennis ball sort of.
The Novak Djokovic.
Scrum!
Met scrum approaching the hour mark. Hartpury need to find a way back into this game. Better scrum from Hartpury. Here is Westwood out the back, and then Roderick Evans. He attempts the spiral, and there's pressure coming on here. Wood needs to do well. Wood gets trapped by Thomas. Thomas drives the legs. Roderick Evans chases his own kick, and that is very, very tidy from Cardiff Met.
Carried over.
We spoke about it before, didn't we? The forwards will thank you for that. I mean, the kick was hanging, but there's no way he's in an inside spiral on the run there. Absolutely hanging, but I mean, the execution of it was brilliant there, wasn't it? The areas he hit, the decision to hit it was all brilliant, but the actual kick, just have a look at this. Inside the boot spiral, finding the bottom of the pitch is brilliant.
And not a particularly big in-goal area here, is there, to get messed about in. Brandon Wood getting caught in no man's land there. Not a huge amount he can do. Jake Thomas on the wing for Cardiff Met, former Cardiff Uni, has crossed the city. Great chance here for Met. Looking for the bonus point. And there is Joe Westwood. Oh, he reaches and scores. It's first phase for the 13 again. Is that the bonus point?
Great finish.
Okay, but we're not sure, so we're giving it a try.
Well, we'll have a look again. Joe Westwood. What a finish.
I can understand the question from the ref, is he 5? I just don't think anybody's ever 5 though. I think the ball gets put out in front of you and you race onto it. I think that's, I think you start 5, but you've got to allow for a little bit of room for error with the pass going out in front of you and you're moving onto it, so, but great finish.
Now, he's picked the defenders really well, hasn't he? He's seen a soft shoulder on a scrum half. He's seen Josiah Edwards-Giroux, who's a winger, defending just to the right of the scrum. He's hit another great line. And he's having a good game, Joe Westwood. Brad Roderick Evans, 1 missed penalty, 2 successful conversions. This to make it 3. Oh, and that one has just shaved the upright. Hartpury 13, Cardiff Met 26. Still time on the clock for the hosts.
Because this ball was out, you can come forward. Can you watch the clock? I'll have a look, that's why I couldn't let him play on.
Yeah, he's not grown that moustache in 2 days, Joe Winfield, has he? Absolutely not. Bond, oh, gets absolutely mullered from the restart. Now Barney Langton. God, the noise from the main stand is absolutely huge. And we've got some decent conditions to play rugby in here. And that was left in the end by Matt Hillary. Can't be back up to 15, by the way.
What an exit though, what a difference it makes. You know, you catch the ball in your 22, you got the wind behind you and you put the ball into Hartpury half. I think it really makes a massive difference just getting out.
So that's Will
5
Goffey.
4, please. 5 goals.
Former Exeter Chiefs under 18. He was on the bench for Hartpury RFC in the champ this weekend, actually, Goffey. One of the mainstays of last year. Always had a strong stable of hookers, Hartpury University. What a drive of the legs that is from De Oliveira. Again, putting that momentum to good use. Here's Reese Price, the replacement scrum half. Hoisting that one high and a steady take from Jake Thomas. Hart making the tackle. It was Tyler Olding carrying in.
Use it!
Oh, Reese Price fumbles it. Oh, great take by Chiuetti as he pinched that. Juggled it, nudged over the top. That's Tyler Olding giving chase. Doesn't quite sit up for the hooker. But they are throwing it around and enjoying themselves here, Cardiff Met. Joe Westwood onto Roma Zheng. He's going to fancy himself from here.
Lost forward.
He's knocked it on this time, and Brandon Wood has managed to turn the ball over. Liam LaRue has his hands on it. And Liam LaRue, second row cover.
Go back, good one.
Another one who's earned the chance to play in the first team, having spent some time with the twos. Oh, that's forward, surely. No, says the referee, and we play on. Holly Holiday up over halfway, dancing through defenders. First we've seen him stretch his legs.
Side entry 9.
Is that a momentum change from the Hartpury left winger? Famed for his footwork, they call him the electric eel, but that's the first time we've seen him tonight. Then LaRue takes Hartpury up to the corner of the 22. Chip over the top for Edwards-Giroux, who fumbles, gathers, and the ball goes dead.
It's so frustrating. Really, really nice to see the shift from deep from Hartpury. Like you said, it could have been a marginally forward coming out the 22, but great break. And I'm really enjoying the decisions to kick on the front foot at the moment. I think it's really smart play from both teams.
It's a bit of a shot to nothing with the penalty advantage coming, but Edwards-Giroux couldn't quite get on the end of it.
Number 9 just never came in. The other player was square, but he's just gone straight inside. So 9's gone straight inside. So you haven't worked yourself back. That left foot has stayed in.
More changes for Met. Barnaby Waddell will come on in the second row, and Sam Trod comes on wearing 23. Another one. We talked about players who've earned the right. He's played BUCS 4s, BUCS 3s. He's played in the championship team on a Saturday. Spoke to Danny Milton about him, and we've spoken about him a few times tonight. He says he reminds him of Mikey Raya back in his playing days, because he gets past players, but he's not sure how.
It's a compliment for anyone. I mean, I don't know what his drinking ability is like as well, but he's, yeah, he did have ability, didn't he, to sort of glide through. Entry. He didn't look like the most glamorous of players, but finds a way.
Well, a lot of caps for Wales. If Hartpury can score here, we might just have a game on our hands. First job done. They found the line-out jumper.
Don't lift the leg!
And they send them all to work. A lot of fresh faces in this Hartpury pack now. And Iestyn Galton. He's had a quiet game in midfield, and he's loitering around the fringes. It's gone to ground, and Cardiff Met have pinched it. What a brilliant turnover. And Morgan sends it towards the touchline. And again, Cardiff Met escape. Their defence of their own 22. They've not done as much in the second half, but it's been exemplary.
Really fronting up. We talked about in the first half, didn't we, on their own goal line. I think they've saved themselves a few times. And there again, I think... I'm not too sure why Hartpury are bringing players in 10, 12 metres out. I think they need to stretch it, because it just becomes too obvious, and then all you have to focus on is the more, rather than focusing on the backs play as well.
Goffey offloads to D'Oliveira. There's a speed bump in the way. There's the pick and the go. An aggressive tackle from Langton. Goffey.
No held.
It's not quick ball for Reece Price, but they can send Liam LaRue into action. Players queuing up for carries, bouncing around. Bevan Howell's going well. A loose ball.
Just lost by that player there. Just lost forward by 12.
And then Tuetti knocks it on, so Scrum in a good position here for Hartpury.
Yeah, and you feel like one of these has got to be taken soon, don't you? I think Cardiff look fairly comfortable in these defensive sets, but Hartpury needs to strike soon, and this is the perfect opportunity. You're going to have to defend both sides of the scrum. You can pick your side, you know, whether you're going to go short side and play with the 9 running, or whether you're going to come to the open side and overload them this way. I think they've got to pick one and try and make this the score.
Well, 7 points, if nothing else, puts them in losing bonus point territory, doesn't it? And in a tight league, 5 rounds in now, no undefeated teams. Both of these teams have won 3, lost 2 coming into this evening. With Cardiff close to the top of the league, dropping points, with Loughborough, the league leaders, going into this evening, currently behind at Bath. When you get into that sort of playoff mix at the end of the season, bonus points, not saying it's over by any stretch, because, you know, 2 converted tries and they're back into the lead, but these bonus points can make a massive difference. Cardiff Met already have 1 in the bag. Even if the wheels completely fall off in the last 10 minutes, they're not going back over the bridge empty-handed. So 2 on the short side, 4 on the open side here for Hartpury.
Keeping your eyes on the Cardiff Met 9. If he drops into the boot and you come in this way, if he stays this high on this side, then you're going to have to take the short side.
In it comes from Reece Price. They do go up the short side, looking for that overlap. The step inside.
No, you stepped out
is met with a tackler. And once again, the big man at the coalface. Reece Price. Winfield has a look, shunts that onto LaRue. Yorath Scott with the high tackle, ball over the top is forward. And then Joe Westwood comes on and absolutely melts him.
Let's see that cover tackle again. He came from nowhere, didn't he?
Not shy of the contact zone, is he, Joe Westwood?
I think that's what Hartpury needs to do, though. They're getting penalty advantages. I think they need to throw caution to the wind here a little bit, because I don't think you can go through 10-12 phase. I don't think they've proved they can do that tonight.
Well, we've had 1 game of the season contender already. Nottingham 41, Exeter 46. It's Bath 36, Loughborough 35 with 5 minutes left. down at the STV.
Fine.
On with that, Hartpury have lost the line out. 10 minutes to go. The home team chasing the game here at Kingsholm. Winfield underneath it. The chase is good, but so's the footwork. We were talking about the drum earlier and how it sounds a bit slappy and we need more of a doof.
11.
I've just had a look down. They've actually punched a hole in it, and that's the reason.
See, they are at university, but they don't know about acoustics, do they?
No, no, they don't.
That's going to do you in, isn't it?
Of course it is. Of course it is. You need a tight skin.
You clip that for your highlights. I'd have thought. That'll get you some jobs.
Oh, changes for Cardiff Met. Ali Stacey on at scrum half. Ethan Morgan on as well.
James, we had too many players on the field. We still had 16. We good, Emily? We good?
Yeah, so Barnaby Waddell is on now. Ben Murphy's on. Matthew Arnold Scott. Jack Wickham. Ali Stacey wearing 21. Ethan
James,
Morgan wearing 22. And then Tyler Olding on at hooker, having come on for that 10 minutes for Connor Chapman before. So the whole bench is empty now for Cardiff Met. But Barney Langton, the second rower, he's another one who's had a good game. Probably a full 80 in the engine room for him. Here is Stacey. Duetti. A decent carry again. He's gone through Josiah Edwards-Giroud.
Stop, will ya?
Off the left boot of Ethan Morgan.
He's always offside.
Well, he can't say he wasn't warned.
It's probably a frustrating one. If
Wing
you're in the
is
Cardiff
always
Met
in front of the kick.
what you've been doing to get you some field position, why go against it?
Quickly anyway,
I'd never quite understand. If things are working for you, keep going with it, keep going with it, keep squeezing Hartpury. At the moment, they're giving Hartpury all opportunities to come back into the game here.
Well, Hartpury back into the 22. One converted try takes them into losing bonus point territory. Two converted tries. And it's a big party in Gloucestershire tonight. Training ground move coming up. Here's Bevan Howells. Good work from Howells. The flying mullet takes them to within 10 metres. Now the forwards go to work. Wrestling towards the line. Over the line. Try awarded. What a moment to score. And where has that energy been?
Brilliant first phase, hits the seam of the line, always a tough place to defend. Well run first phase, misses the tackle, and then once they're on the front foot, they just keep powering through, don't they?
Well, it's Cameron Cobbett who's got his hands on the ball. Look how hard he has worked to ground that ball.
I haven't got you, so.
Now this kick is big. It's the difference between a one-score and a two-score game. Potentially the difference between a bonus point, no bonus point, and giving Hartpury the belief that they can win this game. Oh, it's hit the post and gone wide. Tiny margins. Hartpury 18, Cardiff Met 26. Well, well, well. How has he finished that?
It's a 10-yard pick and go, wasn't it? It's very, really, really impressive. But once you get on that front foot from the line out, hit the seam, it's really difficult for defenders to get back in the line, and he really exploited it.
Josiah Edwards-Giroud takes that over the top. You're on a couple of minutes warning here for man of the match, which is ideal. So we'll have a chat about a couple of players who've impressed you this evening, what you've enjoyed about the game, as Sam Trod takes that. Takes Cardiff Met up to halfway. Important couple of minutes for them now. Hartpury still needing 2 scores.
No, you pulled to the floor. Please stop appealing. Stop, all of you, all of you.
To ball. Everyone offside. Duetti gathers it. After the referee called them back, he continued his run. And that's a brilliant take from David Chiuetti.
Never lift it.
It's been quiet for large periods of the game, but he's a useful player. Yoreth Scott. So right, before we talk about player of the match, what have you enjoyed about the game this evening as a whole? Not necessarily individuals, but in terms of what we've seen for 76 minutes here at Kingsholm.
I think it's really obvious. Both teams are in this to, they're both in it to win it. You can see the celebrations of the minor things, can't you? Every time a ref's decision goes their way, boys are in there slapping. It means a lot to both sides. And I think I've also enjoyed this beneath us.
Yeah.
Even though we've discussed the actual drumming, the atmosphere beneath us is fantastic, and it's just been constant. I think fueled by Gloucestershire cider it's definitely been a really good experience.
Whoa! Certainly has. A next stoppage then. We will get you to awards the man of the match. Can Hartpury come up with another piece of magic to, give them hope, but also maybe lead with something more? Here's Iestyn Galton. All of a sudden, they've taken the handbrake off and really started to play. Where's this been for the previous 75 minutes? There's Liam LaRue.
No, not for me.
Good pressure from Cardiff Met, though. 3 minutes to go on our clock.
James, you've got to stay up.
Oh, but the penalty.
You've got to stay up.
This could get tasty, It's
got the makings of a big end to a game. This, I think a brilliant defensive hit from Cardiff. And all you want in that situation is you've got them on the back foot. Hartpury are chasing the game. All you want to do is stay clean. Don't give easy penalties away. And I think that's probably the learning from Cardiff in the last 15 minutes. They've just allowed Hartpury back into this.
Well, a full-time result from Bath is that they've defeated Loughborough 36-35. That is a massive win. There's a serious conversation happening here between the referee and his assistant.
So it might be shoulder from the start of the yellow, but we've got mitigating factors. Okay, has he changed his body height? Okay, so he's got a long time. He's got a number. Okay, we'll come at the over.
Well, after that long conversation about contact to the head.
I'm blinded by 3 players, so I haven't seen it.
And again, confirmation by the referee. He's relied on his assistant, and he's made a good conversation. Hartpury kick for touch. So with the game still just about in the balance, let's have your man of the match.
Well, I think on a night that's been sort of dominated by the team, the moments of magic were from Joe Westwood. So I think the Cardiff 13's really stood out in the second half, hasn't he?
Certainly has. 2 tries for Joe Westwood, and there he is on the peripheries of the defence, about to be called back into action there. He's been sold a dummy though by Bevan Howells. And Hartpury back into the 22. They've got an advantage too. Is there a twist in the tail here at Kingsholm as Liam LaRue comes on to the ball?
Decision time.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You go for the post, you get a losing bonus point. They're going for the corner. We love BUCS Super Rugby. And there he is, the man of the match. 2 tries, a couple of absolute monster hits in defence. Looks a tidy player.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, he stood out in the first half for sort of the basics, and then the second half he just sort of added a bit of sparkle to it, didn't he, with those 2 brilliant finishes.
Well, Hartpury going in search of try number 3. Oh, imagine if they score it quickly and we get a restart.
This is always the debate, though, isn't it? Do you take your points, have your point, and then you run from deep to try and make the try, or do you take and then you're looking for the penalty? For me, you take the points,
okay,
and then you've got one big attack in you that you can either go, refs are then always looking to give you field position, which you anywhere around the halfway, you might have a big boot on you, or you give yourself the chance to drive again. But real tough decision.
Well, they've opted for the corner. The referee said time on, so they're going to have to get on with it here.
Time on, please.
Full numbers in the line out. It's a scrappy throw, it's overthrown. And David Chuetti again. Oh, he's done really well with a scrappy ball. And interesting about Hartpury too, you're talking about one last attack. They've actually shown that they can attack from deep. Cardiff Met have coughed it up. Ollie Holiday pumps the legs. What they don't want to happen here is to get held up over the line and have that goal line drop out. Here's Tom Wards, big shift in the engine room for him. Into the last minute. Pick and a go. Look how close Hartpury are. They've got an advantage. Short of the line. Reese Price sends another big man into Cardiff Met defenders. Needs to happen or they're going to run out of time. Going up the short side and intercepted.
Do you get a number?
And Cardiff Met are going down to 14 here. Barney Langton is carded late. But again, we don't know how close our clock is to the referee's watch, but are they going to have time for one last score? Is that Will Goffey down there? Probably just knackered as much as anything. It's been a hell of a shift.
Just, you've got 20 seconds to go, big fella. Come on, you can get back in the line. It's where you're just thinking, though, as you know, I talk about taking the points. You're now battling away again. You know, if they'd had an opportunity to take the points, work their way back down here with a minute left on the clock, but this looks like it'll now be, even if they score, that'll be the end of the game, I'd have thought, wouldn't it? So they've probably given up the opportunity to win it, unfortunately.
Well, Cardiff Met themselves had a similar situation against Exeter, where they scored some late tries and they left with a bonus point. 21-23 that ended up. Remember, Hartpury got themselves in a good spot. They were 13-7 up at half-time, and we wondered whether they'd taken full advantage of all the territory they had, and I think the answer, given the scoreboard now, is an overwhelming no.
Interestingly, ref just said clock time is right. That's what he's got.
Oh, so 90 seconds, it says, on the clock inside the stadium. So we're a little bit ahead here.
Ages. As a Quins fan, you think there's a chance to score 3, don't you?
You can't refer to me as a Quins fan. I'm a professional that I call down the line. By the way, I know you're a bit crocked, but we're going to try and get you pitch side after the match. Just giving you... Oh, no, you're not going now. Come on, mate.
Offside, number 5. Scrum call.
Unless you need to, because...
How long have I got, realistically?
Oh, I can talk for Wales, England, Hartpury, Cardiff, Harlequins, whoever you need me to. If you've got the money, I've got the time. Anyway, big scrum coming up here. Since Cardiff Met won those 2 early penalties, it's been a good contest. Remember, Met have changed those props, and Hartpury have brought on those 2 behemoths in Christensen and D'Oliveira. So Reese Price with the ball in hand. The clock is ticking.
Time off, please.
The clock was ticking.
What are we doing? The flying mullet straight over 10 here, do you reckon?
Let's go, fellas.
That's where I'd send him.
Yeah, let's go. Come on. Be good all game.
But again, these reset scrums will only suit one team, and it will not be the team in red. Any seconds that Cardiff Met can eke out takes them 1 second closer to 5 points on the road here at Kingsholm. In it comes from Price. Matt Hillary goes up the blind side, dragged down well by Ali Stacey. Important tackle by the scrum half. And Hartpury pretty much back to square one. Another advantage. Tyler Olding offside, but surely now Hartpury will not have enough time to get that second score, should they get the first one. Our clock now up over 80. Winfield sends it crossfield, and it dribbles out into touch.
16 offside.
But another penalty. Tyler Olding offside.
No, I've got 2 balls on.
And I make that 80 minutes.
Offside.
Question now. Points then. So you can't win the game. You know, there's not enough time left on the clock. He's just said
10 seconds, yeah.
So
scrum
or scrum.
Scrum.
Well, I tell you what, 80 minutes is up. you're an injured man who needs to get pitch side, so I'm going to send you on your way. But a real pleasure to have the company of England and Gloucester's Mark Atkinson. But basically, he's too good looking to just have his voice on the live stream, so we need to get him on the camera as well. But he is on 2 crutches, so we appreciate the time and effort that he's making to get pitch side. But I'm sure we'll all agree that it's been great to have his company this evening. And it goes from Price. Matt Hillary goes to the open side. This time he's met by Ewan Guy. Oh, he's dropped the ball. Oh no, he hasn't, it's been given. Oh, Matt Hillary gets the try. Referee's decision is final. Hartpury within touching distance. It's going to be so close, but so far for the team in red. Let's have another look at this from Hillary.
Deal with him, please. Deal with him. There was no time. No,
Try awarded. Matt Hillary, the captain, gets a 5-pointer for all of his graft. It's going to be a losing bonus point for Hartpury. And can Joe Winfield add the extras right at the end to make it a 1-point game? Yes, he can. It's the right side of the post this time, but the full-time whistle goes. And the night belongs to the Kings of Kincoid. 5 points in the bag, 3 wins in a row, and a bit of consistency for Cardiff Met. For Hartpury, it's now 1-3, lost 3 in BUCS Super Rugby, because full-time at Kingsholm, it's Hartpury 25, Cardiff Met 26. Well, they will continue the celebrations, and I'm sure it'll be a rowdy bus trip home for those Archers. As for Hartpury, it's what could have been. They dominated the first half. They spent so much time in the Cardiff Met 22, but very often they were a blunt instrument. 1-point game in the end. Hartpury, will they consider themselves unlucky? Will they consider this an opportunity missed? Cardiff Met started the brighter. They got the first 7 points, then it was 13 unanswered points for Hartpury, 13-7 at half-time. Both teams had yellow cards, some interesting decisions around penalty tries and groundings. And an update of the other scores as well. Big win for Durham against Swansea, 43-25. Massive win for Bath, 36-35. Hartpury 25, Cardiff Met 26. 3 of the games decided by a converted score. Well, 4 of the games actually decided by a converted score or less, because Cardiff Met winners by a point, Bath winners by a point, Exeter winners by 5 points, and Cardiff and Leeds Beckett, of course, drawing 17-17. Don't know if this is spice or not, but I've heard that there's never been a 17-17 draw in rugby before, but that might be a huge, huge misquote from me. Well, while the teams congratulate each other in the tunnel, and we wait for Aki to make his way down to Clare, let's have a look at some of the best bits of that match, and there were some real highlights as well. This was the first try. Ewan Guy went over from short range after Joe Cowell was robbed of one. There it goes, touching the line. He's celebrating. But watch Ewan Guy there, number 7, with a bit of work to do. Spots a weak shoulder and just manages to crawl under Charlie Short for the 5 points. That was converted. And that was after many, many phases for Cardiff Met, who looked really, really tidy early on in the game. That was pretty much the only visit that they had to the Hartpury 22 in the first half. The rest of the half belonged to the Gloucestershire outfit. Brad Roderick Evans converted it. Then came the first of the penalty tries. That was after a couple of confident strikes from Joe Winfield. That one crept over the bar, but as Mark Atkinson pointed out, he was so sure it had gone over. He'd picked up the tee and gone away with it. Josiah Edwards-Giroud will be claiming this one with his arm around Charlie Short there. But the referee didn't see the grounding. It was a rampant rolling maul here from Hartpury, and Connor Chapman was sent to the sin bin. Oh, and this beautiful spiral. Honestly, it's one of my favourite moments of the season so far. Joe Winfield, take a bow. And then Roma Zheng cleared with that right-booted howitzer of his own. Then came Cardiff Met's turn. Hartpury have not conceded a maul try for 2 weeks before tonight, so this is a massive win for the Archers. Referee checked, it looked like a clear grounding, but Matt Hillary was sent to the sin bin, penalty try was awarded. And then it was maul time again, but watch Joe Westwood here, clean pair of heels, beautiful line from the Dragons Academy Centre. It was his first 5 points in what resulted in being a man of the match performance, taken to the line by Roderick Evans. Little pass, Hartpury defenders there, but when you're hitting the line like that, there's no chance. Great try. Reminiscent of a Luke Northmore try against Cardiff Uni at the Cardiff Clash a few years ago. Will he be the next big thing to come out of Cardiff Met? Then Bevan Howells came on. Watch this from Cameron Cobb. It pick and go, drives the legs. There was a latch on by Will Goffey, but I'm not sure how much of an effort he really put in. There was another try from Joe Westwood that looked to put the game beyond doubt. And then this pick and go from Matt Hillary. Has he grounded that? Has he knocked it on? Doesn't matter, it was a try. 3 tries for Hartpury, 1 point short. They get a bonus point, but Cardiff Met take all 5. But now let's go pitch side. I can see Claire down there, and she's with someone about the same height. It's Danny Milton.
Thanks very much, Dave. I am, but I've got to say, I think I'm wearing slightly flat form shoes, which is what's giving me the edge. Dave's having a pop at your height up in commentary, which isn't very nice, because your side have just claimed a huge scalp on the road. How do you feel?
Yeah, look, we're really pleased, and to come here today, and great atmosphere as it was, and fantastic group of fans that have come away to support us. We're really pleased to have got over the line at the end there.
The fans were in full voice and they show no sign of shutting up anytime soon. Do you think that made a difference? Because it can't have been easy playing out there in those conditions.
No, the conditions were tough, particularly first half. Dropped off a little bit second half for a while, but the conditions were made it difficult for both sides. I'm sure the travelling support really helped our guys.
What was the message at half-time? Was it be patient and then take your opportunities when they come? Because that's how it looked watching on.
Yeah, I think it was also trying to play the game in the right areas of the field. I thought Hartpury did a really good job of that, and probably would like to have got a couple more scores. Really pleased with how he defended, and I thought keeping them out twice at the goal line in the first half was a big momentum shift for us. And then for us it was, copying that game plan really and putting the ball in good areas and playing in the right areas of the field.
You might be about to tell me it's a trade secret, but go on, spill the beans. How is it that you're undefeated on the road so far this season?
Guards has got a big thing about that. Our head coach always talks about it's the same patch of grass for everybody, whether you're home or away, and just making sure you bring a performance. And that's something that, yeah, I know it's an Astro, Al, thanks for that. But yeah, it's something that we're really trying to live up to.
Well, you've got another trip next week, and it's not going to get any easier, your task. You're off to Durham.
Home to Durham.
Home to Durham.
Home to Durham.
This is the problem with my rain-soaked notes. Home to Durham, right, well fine. How do you carry that form into a home match?
Yeah, I think we've looked at we've got Durham, Leeds, Beckett and then Loughborough away, and 3 big games before we come back for the Christmas derbies against Swansea and Cardiff. So it's just a great league, isn't it?
What a Christmas feast of rugby that will be. We absolutely can't wait. Danny, thanks for your time. Many congratulations. Let's hear from the player of the match, shall we? Joe, come on in.
Well played, Joe.
Well played indeed. Many congratulations. What did you make of both your performance and that of the team tonight?
Yeah, I think it was going to be tough from the off because conditions were dreadful in the first half, but especially in the second half we knew, and when we come out the second half it was dry, so we knew we'd be able to play a little bit more, which would suit us because we'd been really physical in the first half and tired them out. So.
As a back and someone with pace to burn, when you look at the weather forecast and it says whatever it said tonight, 90% chance of heavy rain, gusty winds, everything that could possibly be thrown at you. Were you tempted to go, oh, my calf's a bit tight, Danny?
Not really. I knew that it would be a big night in the midfield anyway, physicality-wise, so you have to be up for it that way. So.
Hartpury were noisy, but I reckon that the Archers fans, the away support, were pretty much at their level in terms of decibels. What kind of difference do they make on nights like this?
They're excellent, really. It's never easy going away from home, but they definitely make it easier for us, and we know they're behind us, so that's the main.
Come to a stronghold in front of thousands of people, taken 5 points. You're now second in the table. I know it's too early in the season to get ahead of yourself, but how much confidence does that give you?
Yeah, it gives us a lot of confidence. Now we got a big week off next week, which we can recover and review, but it's definitely going to be a big game against Durham at home, so we've got to look into that now as well. So.
Very much looking forward to it, and many congratulations once again. You're our player of the match.
Thank you, cheers.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Go and enjoy the victory. Well, from one centre to another, he's limped his way down pitch side. He's currently chatting to Dan Murphy, but I'm going to lure him away. Mark, hello. Do you have a spare hand, or do I need to hold the microphone for you? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, that's commitment to the cause. Coming down how many flights of stairs on
Honestly, I had to get pressing the buzzer, hoping that they still had the lift on.
Just praying. Would you have had a go if the lift hadn't worked? Or do you think
I'd have been phoning downstairs. Yeah, I'd have just slept up here and waited for tomorrow morning for physio.
Now, I know that you weren't a massive fan of the drumming, but how has your evening at BUCS Super Rugby
I
been?
loved it, honestly. I was just saying, it feels like a massive pre-drinks, but in a real positive way, in a really, really positive way. The atmosphere is very different to what you experienced on a Saturday, but it was brilliant. I don't know what the numbers that were here were, but yeah, really enjoyed it.
We're getting thousands week in, week out, and it seems like every single person that comes to a BUCS Super Rugby game brings the noise, brings the energy, and you can see it on the pitch, can't you? I mean, the conditions were horrible today, but just a glimpse at how exciting this product is.
And what an opportunity for the players to play like they did tonight, friends and family, but just representing where they're going to university, but also getting to play at somewhere like Kingsholm. It felt brilliant. The atmosphere felt like it was a real raucous atmosphere and everyone's having a good time.
Well then, I'd love to get your thoughts on something. So Austin Healy came out on Rugby Tonight a few weeks ago and he suggested that we get rid of academies and instead we wheel in a university and Premiership club link-up system so that players can get a degree whilst playing top-level rugby. On the basis of what you've seen tonight, does that have merit?
I think it easily does. I think there's people, there's people in our academy that would have struggled to get in the team tonight, and there's people who that would have struggled to get into the academy. But there's definitely sort of very similar sort of standards across both. I don't know why people couldn't be out there doing that. You'll always get certain players that come through really quickly and will shoot past this system, but definitely for the bulk of players, I'd have loved to do that and then go on to join rugby after. It's a fantastic opportunity.
And Joe Westwood, player of the match, you picked him up in comms. I wonder, centre to centre, what did you make of his performance? And of his 2 tries, which would you have taken the most satisfaction out of?
There's no chance I'd have finished the first one. I thought that was brilliant.
Not right now, maybe.
Yeah, no, not at my best. I wouldn't have finished the first one. So I just thought, again, where the packs really dominated and the field position was really important, the sort of the sparkle was probably him in the second half. He gave the 2 moments that win games. A lot of people do a lot of bruising work, but there's always sort of quality that wins games, and that was him in the second half.
Yeah, both sides of the ball, wasn't he? Yeah. 2 tries, a couple of Hartpury attackers absolutely marmalised, like left pureed on the 4G here. Just finally, there's such feel-good factor in these parts right now around the rugby. I spoke to Mo about it at half-time. We talked about it during the women's game, but Gloucester are flying. Yeah. Gloucester Hartpury women, they look the real deal this year, and both university teams today putting strong performances out on the park. What's it like to be a part of that?
It's great. I think, like you say, it's the product, isn't it? We want that product to be everyone. I don't think gone are the days of it just being the first team on the pitch on a Saturday, the men's team. I think now you feel like there's a real product, there's a buy-in to all the teams from top to bottom, and I think that's what we want. We want the fans to come and see sort of all of it as well.
You absolutely do, and it's been so good to have you down to show you BUCS Super Rugby up close and personal, and with the voice of it himself. Dave Rogers has actually just come down to join us.
The king of BUCS Rugby, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Joe Burns is watching.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed.
That's what he said, yeah.
I'll have a word with him later. We need to start reining this stuff in. It's getting out of control. Joe Burns is watching on, who also deems himself to be the face and voice of BUCS Super Rugby. So, but so good to have you down.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming. Thanks for all of your insight. Thanks all of you for tuning in. Huge live streams coming up left, right and centre. It's the best league in the land for a reason. Just look at the results that we've seen today. We will keep you abreast of all of the news. So stop back soon. Have a great evening.